All right. Well, look, I think.
Hi, Jules. Hi, Jules. Hi, Jules. Good to speak.
Yes, good to see you.
Oh, so just to let you know, we are all live. So mind your P's and Q's.
Right,
I think I should see that's John Lennon picture, isn't it? On the,
oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's. They say the people put a lot of effort into what's behind them on the.
Yes.
and the John Lennon one was by accident. Well, that was there naturally, and I thought it's had such a good response. What else should I put there? So I moved my Pulp Fiction poster behind me as well. So
yes, right.
The two of my main interests, John Lennon and Pulp Fiction.
No, well,
last week at the GNU Cup,
nothing else.
Well, in some things, not many. Thanks, Jules.
Yeah, it's quite funny because last week at the GNU Cup, when our esteemed GNU came on to explain to all of us who she was and who she is, because she's not that commonly known this side of the Atlantic. Right behind her was her World Championship trophy from when she beat Joe Dweck in 1981.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I remember I went to visit Chris and Cecilia when they got their flat together, and they had a trophy cabinet where Chris had his European Championship cup behind him, and Cecilia had her World Championship.
Mine is bigger than yours. That's a very nice story. So obviously we'll be taking over the semi-final stage of the main event. And as we both know, there's a nice mix of the best of the UK in Lawrence v Gaz, and then a very interesting other semi-final of players unknown in truth to most of us in the UK.
Yeah, well, isn't it Terje Pedersen is the guy that actually owns the Backgammon Studio, yes, Backgammon Heroes? So
yeah, so Terje was,
someone's going to accuse him of fixing the dice somewhere along the line.
Absolutely. Well, Terje was one of my, in inverted commas, VIP guests for this weekend. I invited him, Bernard, Arda and Rory as a sort of thank you for all their tournament directing, and felt it was a nice gesture from the UK to get them over here.
Yes. No, it's a good start, because one hopes with these things that you want to build a worldwide community.
Especially online.
Tim's done a lot for boosting the UK image in terms of winning all these American tournaments. And
he is the UK image.
Well, currently.
Yeah.
Well, I think the amazing thing is that you managed to cope with the time zone differences.
Yeah, it is tiring. And it's the reason I've not entered this one, because I was having a lucky start in the US tour. I decided to take it a bit, play as many as I could. And so I played last week, and I'm playing one next week, and they are very tiring.
Yeah.
But, and it must be tiring for Rory, who's playing in this one, who played in this one.
Yes, I know when I did a commentary with Rory, it was kind of like he got up at 6:30 in the morning to do the commentary for it.
He's energy.
He is.
No.
So we're getting up to 4:30. Is it time that we switched over to actually seeing the board? And
yeah, well, Julia will kindly switch it over for you. So I'm just going to text the guys to tell them that we're ready. So they're both now aware we're ready for them. So I think as soon as Julia sees.
Okay, they don't need much introduction, either of these players. Gaz and Lawrence have been playing in the UK team with them for the last 4 or 5 years. Both completely solid. Win was part of the successful team from about 2 or 3 years ago when we won a lot of tournaments. We had a really great run, and Gaz and Lawrence were fantastic in that time. So this won't. They're both overdue a big win though. So, but they won't. They won't change in the time, and they'll carry on again. But both will be quite keen to get this one won. And obviously, it's Gaz, tremendous player. He's playing fantastic low PRs in this tournament, everything I've seen. And Lawrence, totally reliable, solid, great player. So we're in for a good match here.
So have they actually set up the board yet, Julia?
Not that I can. Ah, there we are. There we go.
I've got it, right.
Are you going to share again, Julia, please?
Yep, it should be sharing now.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
You see it?
Yeah, who we got? We've got Lawrence with white and Gaz with black. Yeah.
So have you got a 6-3 for black?
Yes, that's right.
Right, excellent. So
it might be better if you just watch what the screen that Julia's sharing.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, then we're all talking exactly the same moment.
That's what I was wondering.
All right.
I've just got to try and persuade the Zoom to let me look at the right thing. Right.
We've got a holding game with. What's happening here? Wow, that's a particularly flamboyant move by Gaz, which could be right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the 2 blocks in board is making him thinking.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, his main problem is to clear the midpoint because Lawrence has got the 0.6 away from it. So how are we doing? This is the first game of the 11-point match.
Yeah. Talking about flamboyant moves, I tend to only do flamboyant moves when I'm certain they're right, because every time I attempt to do a flamboyant move rather than the straightforward move, it's more often wrong than right.
Yes. No, I tend to agree with you. It's one of these things like making the 5 points that it might be wrong by a small amount, but it's rarely going to be wrong by a large amount. Anyway, Lawrence has rolled a clearing double, so he's going to be thinking of doubling, but he's behind in the race now, so that's probably going to slow him down. So this, I think, might be wrong now. Is he ahead or behind?
No, Black's ahead. Black's ahead 12. He should be cubing.
Yes. So 12 is slightly over 12%. So I would tend to think this is probably a pass. I mean, the crucial question is, who does the contact favour? I guess it does favour Lawrence. He would have got a shot on 6-6, but if he doesn't make a move from the bar point, or we can't do soon, then he'll be wasting pips in his board.
Absolutely.
So now there's no shots. I'm kind of thinking he should be running now.
Yeah.
So it looks as though Gaz has opened up a massive race lead. So I think he's almost got this game sewn up.
Yeah.
So that would give Gaz a 2-0 lead, and in 11-point matches, a 1-point advantage is worth about 5% match winning chances. So with equal players, you would say Gaz is 60-40 favourite going into the next game.
Right. Gaz is playing tremendous backgammon at the moment. I'm not sure about. I'm not followed any Lawrence. I know Lawrence is solid and a really good player normally, but this tournament, everything I've seen of Gaz is around the two level or even lower. He's playing. He's on his A game this weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Gaz he always plays well, but I think the confidence is whether he's confident at the time that when he's feeling good that he does really well.
Yeah, and he's certainly doing that at the moment this weekend.
Yeah, so it's interesting different styles here, because I tend to think of Lawrence as more of a counter puncher. He's playing the Ali rope-a-dope strategy.
Yeah.
He basically does nothing and avoids any serious problems, and then gradually comes back towards the end. Whereas Gaz is much more a coming out for the attack right from the start player.
Yes, yeah.
So Lawrence has got the opening roll on the second game with a 6-2. So I mean the usual play is to split the back checkers.
Are the cubes clock stationary? All right, I can see them. I can see them now.
So 4-1, we hit with the 1 and hit and split can't be too bad. I never know whether to come down or to split.
No.
So with double 4, do you think maybe a double hit here, Tim?
I think so because of yes. Yeah.
So this, I think, it's not really aiming to blitz immediately. It's trying to buy time to hit the black checker at the bottom of the board.
Indeed. Now this is a tough play for white. He can gain a solid advantage by making the golden point, or he can try for more by making the ace point.
Yeah. So I think this is the style thing. So I think I think Gaz would probably have hit on the 4 point was more his style.
Right. Yeah.
So Lawrence has made he's playing to his race lead. He's saying, well, I've got a race lead. You've got to find some way to counter that. So 4-5, Gaz is coming in and he's made an anchor. So that I think is the important part of the play.
Yeah.
So once you've made the anchor, the white 1 point is devalued. They're kind of two checkers that are out of play for the moment. So this is a good play by Gaz. So he's way behind in the race. He's saying he's not worried by the race. He wants to try and develop a position and stop white from doing the same.
Yeah.
Now Gaz is hoping to make a second defensive point in his home board. So he'd probably have liked to roll a 3, but this is a very good alternative. Might well be better. Lawrence comes in with a 3 and doesn't seem to have a good 4. He could maybe just bring that guy out or hit on the 2 point, but I don't really see the idea of hitting on the 2 point.
I always feel these positions are a lot easier to play from Gaz's side than from Lawrence's side.
Yes. So 4-1 is a good shot for Lawrence. So now he can make the bar with another blocking point. So he's got 5 of Gaz's checkers behind his somewhat anemic block at the moment, I'd say.
Yeah.
So Lawrence is sensibly making his run for home, but Gaz has got a couple of hurdles for him to jump. So it's definitely right for white to wait a while before doubling here. I don't think he's really got any kind of an advantage until he's made his 5 point. So now Lawrence has a choice whether to hit or not. I think I probably would hit just to protect against the indirect hitting me on the 11 point. Oh, I see he's got a blot on the 2, so he can't hit.
Yeah.
He can't risk a direct. So yes, so Gaz has seen what's going on in the position better than me. So he's leaving his checker on the midpoint to harass white to make it hard for him to clear his midpoint.
No, he does hit that. Oh no, he should hit now.
Yeah, so the board strength is level, and Gaz. I always think with these positions, the question you have to ask is, can you win going forward? So are you stuck behind a prime? And he doesn't like the 3 behind a 4 prime, but it's not as though it's a 5 or even a 6 prime. So now I think he should upgrade his anchor to the 21 point and then just play 13-11.
I mean, Gaz is getting very close to a double here, even.
Yeah. No, so
Yeah,
I rather think he should be doubling because he's virtually level in the race now. Is he? No, he's still a long way behind, but it can go south very fast for Lawrence. So I think this is probably a double and a pass even already. Certainly a double.
It's certainly a tricky decision for Lawrence, which is what you want to give your opponent. Tricky.
Yes. So I think Gaz's threat is not so much to roll a 3, but just to roll a 5 or 6 and get his back checkers out and say, well, all I'm going to do is contain Lawrence's back checker on the 1 point.
But on the other hand, that's a 4 point. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I think the right play is to take the other 2 out here. I think that way you sew up most of the wins and see if you can get a gammon later.
He's going for it.
This is more Gaz's style, is
yeah.
Attack, and then worry about the consequences afterwards.
But it's a 5 point board, so I can see that. I can see his play there.
Yeah, I mean, this play I really like because I kind of think of this as we have 100% wins. But whenever I look at the computer, it says always says I'm.
Yeah, I'd have gone for it there. 4 points is a hell of a lot in this 11-point match.
So now he really wants to protect against the 1-6. Yeah. That's the only thing that worries him.
Of course, yeah.
So he wants to kind of have different numbers to cover than the ones. Different numbers to return hit on the 17 than the ones he needs to come in. So he's made the prime, it's good, and then the next step should be to slot the point in front of it, which he's doing, and then choose how to get another one to cover that point. So the double 4 is not a good roll for rolling the prime forward.
No.
So Lawrence he's using this opportunity to move all his checkers home. So when it does go badly wrong for him, he's probably not going to get gammoned.
Yeah.
So that's an awkward roll for Gaz. I think maybe he should move 1 off the 7. Yeah, so he's not forced to hit with 6s, but not clear. So Lawrence correctly breaks from the back. He wants to try and kill 6s so he doesn't have to break his board too much. So Gaz has got a reasonable bear in. If he survives this roll, he'll be doing well. So that's fine. So when you're bearing off in these positions as black, what you want to look at is what's going on at the top of the board. Is your opponent's threat to win by coming in quickly and winning a race, or is it to hit you and win by keeping you on the bar? So with a 5-point board, Gaz should be and was playing a relatively safe bear off, saying all I have to do is avoid leaving a shot and I'll win.
Yeah.
So this should open up a 4-point lead for Gaz. So now on the match equity table, he's up to 70-30. And Lawrence is a significant amount behind. I say 3 or 4 points is a long way behind. And you have to change your match strategy then and say, well, I'm not going to make up that deficit 1 point at a time. I have to do it in 2s and 4s. So generally, Lawrence will be trying to play a more aggressive game. So he aims more towards slotting plays and building plays, bringing checkers down from the midpoint. So he'd like to get to a prime against prime game where there's lots of gammons. Whereas Gaz should be working more towards moving his back checkers when he has a choice and trying to get an advanced anchor and cutting down on the gammons for both sides.
Yes.
So this play, I think, is still right for Lawrence, that Gaz is starting to form a prime, so Lawrence needs to do something to counter that, to make an advanced anchor or to stop Gaz extending the prime without any danger. So that play I don't like. The running play is the kind of play that the score would recommend. And if you hit, I would hit with the 3 and then come down with the 6, because you've got to give white a good 6 anyway.
It's a 4, yeah. Right.
The 5 is another joker for Gaz, so he hits twice, makes a pointed board, and should be able to double most rolls. The downside is he's only got 8 in the zone, but white hasn't made much progress at all. So I think Yeah, I think this would be a pass at a normal score,
It,
but
yeah,
I have a
at this
suspicion
score.
it's probably a no double at this score because Lawrence. Yeah,
Now that'll be interesting. Can we have a look at that, Julia? Whether the cube action on the last game?
yeah. I'm
it was
going to change my opinion and go to double take.
it's double pass,
Double
but
pass.
very, very thin. 0.012 difference
Yeah.
from take.
Yeah, the thing I missed initially on my initial comment was that Gaz had escaped one checker. So when Lawrence comes in and anchors, Gaz has a threat of just escaping the last one and coming home against the anchor. Anyway, we're on to a new game, and Gaz has started making his 5 point again. That seems to be a good plan to start the game with. But Lawrence has got some play himself now. So double 5 is good, but not perfect. So the question is really, should he hit on the 1 point? So you can play it and say, I've got a stronger board I want to hit, or you could say it, I've got a race lead.
With the race, yeah. With a race lead, I would have just played safe.
So 6-2 again is not a good roll. I think I would run here like this. Do you agree with that, Tim? Can you see
That's my play, yes, yeah, and it's paid off. In the commentary with John, I was saying that double shots aren't as scary as they look. It's one of the you get away with them, especially when you're a double shot. You soon realise that it doesn't hit every time like you'd imagine. So now he needs a tempo play. I would switch here. Yes.
Beautiful play. Yeah. So his idea is to minimise black shots. So if White can save his blot on the 14, he's doing well. So he's duplicating Lawrence's 2 to enter and 2 to hit.
Yes.
So
have you seen what Lawrence is playing? Superb. He's playing under 1 at the moment. So if you can keep this up, it's good going. So and Gaz is playing his normal 2. This is incredible play from UK backgammon players. There's a definite move forward. It's brilliant stuff to see.
So Gaz has got a tough decision. Does he want the contact here? I think if he goes into the race, he's clearly doing badly. And I guess with the stronger board, he should gamble a bit and say, well, if I go into the race, I'm clearly losing. At least I might get some harassment value by staying back.
Yes.
So one thing that I've noticed is characteristic of Gaz's game is that he always likes to build a strong board. He wants to be in a position to say that when the hitting starts, I'm going to be winning.
Yes.
So some shots for Lawrence here. 6-1, 6-3 would leave a shot. So 4-3 he can play safe, or we can pay now. So
I think he's going to have to. If he had gammons, I think he would be to attack. But
yeah, I think
that many gammons.
It's not clear to me here. So I mean, the 2 on the midpoint are going to mean that he does win some gammons when he closes out.
So I mean, you're a lot better than me on this technical stuff. So can you, if he did manage to close blackout, is there a way of calculating the gammons?
Yeah, so I have a thing from a Norwegian player, Hannah Thorson, and she came up with the idea that you have 5% gammons for closing 1 checker out, plus an extra 2% gammons for each pip in the outfield. So if you look at the black outfield pieces, you'll see he needs 15 pips to come home. So that would give us another 30% gammons.
Right, which makes Lawrence's play correct again. It's just tremendous stuff from Lawrence.
Yeah, I think the other thing that argued for that play was that Gaz had a couple of spares. So he's got a spares on 6 and 7. Yeah. So if Lawrence put it off, Gaz could still wait another roll, and Lawrence might have to give more.
I'm not sure about his double. Oh, he was right. His 6.
Yeah, so I think the thing there is it's easy to play safe, but when your opponent enters with a 5, you ask yourself the question, why didn't I pay before?
Yes, yeah.
The double 2 is a tough roll. So I think he's picked this play as the play that leaves the least shots. I think it's only 6-5.
And he's got an eye. He's still got White's got an eye on the gammon. It's suddenly become very live, even after the 6-5.
Yeah, so that I think was a bad play by Lawrence. I think you have to play downward from the midpoint with the 6, so you have a good 1 as a crossover.
So, yeah, I think you got the wrong. That's Gaz. Gaz is black.
Yeah, so I think Gaz should play 13-7. Yeah, so this way you're kind of setting up your 1s as a role that isn't going to make a crossover.
Yes.
So 13-7, 14-11 looks to me like protects against bad 1s, gives us 2 crossovers, and everything's diversified. So now you see the problem Gaz has is if he rolls a 1, he's got to roll a 6 to get out of that problem.
Yes.
But here I think he just needs to maximize doubles, so that gives him double 3 or better, and that's the best he can hope for. So good play by Lawrence, duly rewarded his bold play hitting loose. So now Gaz has a 1-point lead in a 7-point match. So 3-1 is not good. Usually, sometimes I've seen people slot the 5-point with the 1 here.
Is that not right?
Not a play I really understand myself.
Well, what would you like to do instead of with the 1?
I think maybe I'd go up to the 21 and say, well, that's if I get hit on the bar point and I can't return hit, then I can anchor on the 21.
Okay. So I play the 6-5 just to start my board on the basis that you're talking about Gaz, making a board as quickly as possible.
Yes,
yeah.
No, the thing that put me off was our hits for Lawrence were always going to be with indirect. So,
yes, yeah.
We were probably not going to be able to cover the 5-point quickly. So 3-4. Yeah, that looks a good play. Can't be anything wrong with fighting for the 5-point. So Gaz has now got his 5-point. He's secured his defence, so he can concentrate all his efforts on attacking.
Yeah.
So he could hit on the 3-point, but that kind of looks like the blot he'd least like to hit. So I think I would probably come in and with the 3 and come down to the 8-point. But nothing wrong with this play. Might well be better.
No, hang on. What's this is surely should be hitting.
Yeah, so he can hit, but and he hasn't got a race lead yet, so he should be hitting for sure. The second hit I don't like, hitting behind the anchor. Always suspicious about that. So I would hit and just make the 18-point.
Yes, that would have been my play as well.
Yeah, so if it was a 3-2 and we could unstack the 6-point, I could see an argument for this. But stripping the 8-point, it isn't really helping our distribution either.
What's Gaz waiting for? He certainly shouldn't be doubling with 2 on the bar, so he might.
No, Gaz has got a lot of dogs at home, so it might be that.
Right. More important than that's my wife, Chrissy, would understand that priority very much.
So Gaz, on the other hand, is right to do this attacking play because he's got his defence secure, so he can go all out to try and improve his forward game. So finally, we've got a very difficult game for both players here. So
yes.
Gaz has got the positional advantage. You can see that through his bold play, he's ended up with both 5 points, which is a plus. And Lawrence's game looks suspiciously similar to the starting position. So I think here the struggle is in the outfield. So I think this is a good play by Gaz, making the 15 points, giving himself another outfield point. So Lawrence must be able to hit here.
I think he should be hitting because it, as a way of stopping Gaz making the 8-point.
Yes, exactly. So it's not that we're doing it to win the race. We're doing it to stop Black getting that point in the third quadrant back.
Yes.
So it's an interesting thing in backgammon that usually if you can hit on your opponent's side of the board, that's more powerful than hitting on your side of the board, because you're sending him further back. So you gain more in the race, but you also stop him attacking you by the fact that you've moved one of his attackers away.
It's great doing commentary with Jules. You learn stuff as well. It's brilliant. Yeah, I never thought. It's like when I first read Opening Concepts by Mitchie. Even though some of the things I were already part of my game and I played them naturally, Mitchie explained why I did them, and it was great. It's a bit like that commentating with Jules.
Oh, well, I enjoyed your commentary as well. I remember I learned from one of yours when you said how good it was to make an advanced anchor on your opponent's 8 point or somewhere out there.
Yeah.
So it gives you a natural escaping route for any checkers that are trapped, and at the same time you stop your opponent developing his attack so easily. So double one, we have to look at the race to see if Lawrence wants to be losing contact here. So this is a play that's aimed at losing contact, but does it really do it when Gaz has got the points 5 and 6 away from him?
Yeah.
So 6-2, he'd like to make the 11 point, but Gaz is there already, so he can't do that.
Yeah, he didn't have lots of choices in that play. 6s and 2 don't play.
So now Gaz has to choose which point to give up, and I think the midpoint is the one we want to lose here. So our 14 point is attacking both of Gaz's points already. So if we free up the 13 point, that gives us a couple of checkers to move while still keeping an eye on all Gaz's points. So this one, I think, it gives Lawrence a bit more freedom.
Yes. And the 14 point is what's the word? Dummy midpoint anyway.
Yes. So I call those double midpoint positions, and you not really much point having both of those two, because you can't make a prime there, and you're going to get shots from one of the points anyway.
It looks like you were right. The double four wasn't Gaz's best move, but as to get yet again playing at 1.84, this is incredible stuff, Gaz.
Yeah. So usually you can figure out whether you want the contact by looking at the race and saying,
yes,
if I'm behind in the race, I want the contact. I don't want to get into a race I'm losing. That's not a good plan. Especially
when it's taking out your golden anchor. You almost never leave your golden anchor when you're ahead in the race. We're behind in the race.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's backgammon. There's no such thing as always, but
no,
it's one of the closest things to it.
I will tell you my golden rule on this, that every rule has its exceptions, even this one.
Yes.
So we've got this mutual holding position, and usually with mutual holding positions, the player who's got the most backward point is the one who's losing. So that would indicate Lawrence is slightly behind, but there's not a great difference between the 8 point and the 9 point. So both players are marking time until they have to give a shot. So 6-4, this has to leave a shot somewhere. So I guess we want to leave a single shot on the 17 point rather than a double shot.
Well, I think
we can play safe.
We can play totally safe.
Okay, so this is leaving a lot of 6s and 8s. So he's done it right. We're off to the races. So Lawrence needs to come in. That is an excellent entry. So he comes in and hits, and probably 8-6 just to save a block.
Oh, and Gaz throws a joker. Such a joker that it's probably too good now. He is too good.
Yeah, so it's I'd probably double this on the basis that it's very difficult to get the gammon when your opponent has a 5 point board. You're not very easy to hit loose there. So does the computer still say it's too good then?
I don't.
I'll tell you in a second. It says too good by 0.048.
Right, so slightly too good. It's saying you
Yeah.
can take a roll, see if you get lucky, and double him out
Yeah.
if he comes in. Okay, so now let's look at the score. So Gaz is effectively 2-0 up in a 7-point match.
Yeah.
So that was a good play by Gaz. He's unstacked his midpoint and he's made a point in board and got 4 points out of 6 with a prime. So this play, I think, is very easy. We just make the 5 and the 3 point.
Yes.
So that would give us a very strong board. So
Yeah.
I think Gaz can think of doubling. So what else can he do with the 2 3s?
He's only got 1 3 left.
One of them.
He's only got 1 3 left because he had 20 with one.
Right, yeah, okay, so that made the play a lot harder.
Yeah, it did.
So Gaz has got the stronger board. I'd be tempted to Lawrence's play of playing safe rather than hitting.
If the scores were reversed, Black would be doubling.
Yeah, so 5 away is always difficult. It's that
Yeah.
you know your opponent's keen to take because he doesn't want to let you get to 4 away. But
Yeah.
5 away, the gammon price is high. It's going to take you to Crawford. So
He has doubled though, Gaz.
yeah, so if there's a
Really,
gammon price, you should.
I think this is
double.
too easy a take. I think this is too easy a take to be a double.
I think it's a big take because there's 2 gaps
Yeah.
in Gaz's prime on the 5 and the
Yeah.
7. So he can't really make both those points in one roll. So 5-3 is a bad shot. He can't move his back checkers, which he wanted to do.
Yeah.
6-4, not great for Lawrence, but he can get one guy moving off the 24 point.
Which he has to do.
Kit Woolsey used to say that 3 checkers on the 24 point is death. So
Yes, that's how I feel as well.
you'd like to have 2 there. That's at least you've got some defence, but the third one isn't really doing a lot. So I'm not quite sure why he's thinking here. He could hit.
Well, he's got 13-3, but I just can't see it. I think he's got other priorities myself.
Yeah, so it's nice. It goes out to a nice place, the 14 point. So it gives Black a 2 to hit, which he might want to move his back checkers.
Yeah.
And he'd have to break the midpoint if he doesn't.
Oh, but I think he'll be able to handle a double 4 though.
Yes, now this is one of those rolls it looks embarrassingly good, but this looks like the clear standout play. So he's got off this trap of being stuck on the 1 point.
And now the cube is extremely active, even though Lawrence is behind in the race. He can put up some really strong 4 cubes. He only needs to be just a bit over 50% to get a strong
Yes.
win here.
Yeah, I would agree with you entirely if the deficit was a bit bigger, but
Right.
he's only 2 points down, so I'm not quite sure if he needs to get super aggressive.
Right.
So getting 2 points is going to equalise the score is
Yeah.
a fine result for him.
Well, my Dublin cube is already twitching, Jules.
Yeah, but you
I will
need
take
to have
advice from
volatility,
you.
don't you? You need to have a block to hit.
Yes,
to say that
yes, you do. Yeah.
the market loss is going to come when I hit my opponent.
Yes.
So some people don't understand this, and it's just when you realise it, it all becomes clear that what you're trying to do when you're doubling is you want to have doubled all the games you win, but you don't want to have
Yeah.
doubled the ones you lose.
Yes.
So what you're doing here is you've got an option and say, well, what I'm going to do is not double here. So when he gets a lucky double and clears and wins routinely, those are the games I haven't redoubled in.
Yeah.
When I get the shot and hit him, that's when I'm going to be redoubling early. So Gaz is very reticent about killing checkers by dumping them deep, but I certainly think that leaving the shot there was a bit too much. So he's thinking long and hard about this play, because he can see if he makes the safe play that. So Lawrence might well have doubled there because he did have a lot of shots. So would you have doubled there, Tim?
That was slightly too early, that one, because of the open 1, 2, and 3 points.
Yeah, that we've only got a 3
It
point.
just left it a bit longer, but I would have been close. I would have been close, but not quite that.
That must have been a really bad roll for Gaz if that's
Yeah,
what he's ended
to
up
do
with.
that. And that's not as good as it first looks either.
No, well, there's two we like, isn't there? And two we don't like.
I'd be doubling here, actually.
Yes, yeah. So this is what I call a dead checkers position. So typically, for some strange reason,
And Lawrence has hit
it's
it as well.
always 2-1 favourite here. So you want to look at the gammons as well. And Lawrence has got a lot of check. Sorry, Gaz has got a lot of checkers in the outfield. Lawrence can use 7 of the 8 points when he gets a gammon. So this is a big pass, I think.
So hard to pass when you've got such a big race lead as well.
But you can see a third of the time he'll get hit, and then he'll be in real bad shape.
So it was a clear take, it appears.
Yes, a big take.
Wow, such a hard. That was
9.
They are just so hard, those cubes, to evaluate both ways.
Right. So now the scores are tied. It's 6-6. It's a 5-point match.
Yeah.
Now, Lawrence has started off with a double 6, but Gaz has escaped a checker. So usually a bit too early to double. 6-5 is not a good roll here. Maybe 2 down from the midpoint.
Yeah.
So we just hope we don't get hit. Gaz can run, but is he behind? He's not behind too much.
But I agree with Gaz's running play because it was more a liability than an asset, the single.
Yes, yeah. If he's not out, then he's going to be stuck behind a 4 prime. So here I think he's got to make the 3-point. He needs to be secure in his home board. So Lawrence has a small race lead, but he's looking to get off that 18 point when he can, because he's at a disadvantage having the backward anchor.
Well, if Gaz plays like I would have expected 2 slots there.
Yeah, I would probably have done 1 slot, so I was thinking of 6-3, 6-4.
Yeah. Lawrence has got to be thinking of running soon. It's really hard to but he's got. Oh no, the race is closer than I thought. Sorry.
Yeah, so here, not running and saving a 6 looks right.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to play 6-1 and 7-3. I'm going to give up on saving a 6. That I think we're going to get squeezed off anytime soon. So let's tidy up our board. And so it's an interesting play. That's 20 shots and trying to duplicate ones, but I don't think that's right. That
it's a bit
kind of run out of play as well. So there's some bad 6s for.
Oh, it looks like that was right. I wouldn't have played that one, but that's excellent.
He's got the return hit, saves the blot, and now he should be thinking whether he's too good or not.
He is too good again.
Yeah, so he's got a big race lead and a 6 shot, and if he doesn't hit, then he'll just try and play safe. So double 5 is probably not a good roll here. I mean,
I just make sure that you've got a cue that
yes, you can double out.
You don't get hit. Yeah.
So I would bring the 2 blots that are in range in. Yeah.
Yeah, and then and now still play on as too good.
Yes, yeah, it's very remote to get hit here. A double 6 leaves a shot, but I don't think we should worry about that. Certainly not a big mistake to double here. There's not many gammons when it does work.
But the level these two are playing, though, they can't even afford small mistakes. So
Lawrence has got a 1-point lead now in the 5-point match. And correctly, he's fighting for the 5-point. So 2-6, Gaz should be splitting. He needs an advanced anchor. 6-3.
They're both playing at a great pace. I struggle with this time setting on WBIF.
So here, I think Black should make the 5-point.
Yes, yeah.
So that's a good play by Gaz. Lots of people kind of hit first and then try and see what else I should do.
Did you get my point about both players playing with speed? It must be helping them in this tournament because the time setting is very tight, but both of them play quickly, and I'm sure they're gaining advantages in that way. You know, I mean, when all my matches, I'm sure I'm struggling to fit this time scale in to play my best backgammon. And so, all credit to them, and I suspect it's why they're doing so well in these tournaments. Yeah, do you know the time setting, Jules?
It's 1 minute per point, is that right?
How many seconds is it per move, Julia? It's quite...
10 seconds.
It's 10 seconds per move.
10 seconds, right.
Which is about the same as over the board play, because I've said one of the advantages of playing online is the dice always land clearly face up in the middle of the board, so you can see them.
Well, what about the minute? Do you think that's the same as 2 minutes?
It's maybe a little shorter, but
not incredibly so.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing with this is that you don't have to worry about people shuffling checkers or anything like that.
Yes.
You can move them around a bit and then just press a button and they all go back automatically.
Yes. Oh, that was it.
So, race is about level, but Gas has given up his 8 point.
Yeah.
I'd maybe be thinking of playing 15-30, of coming off the back anchor here for Gas. That's what I would like to do, and say that point isn't doing anything at the moment. Well, having said that, it's blocking his 8s.
Yes.
So Lawrence would like to roll 9 or better to get one of these back guys out, because they're a bit stuck at the moment. So he's feeling like he's got to do that anyway. So it's not too bad that there's 11.
Oh,
hits,
that's a great roll for Gaz.
A lot of them are returned.
Yeah.
So that just sews up the race and gets rid of all the holding.
It finishes the game.
Exactly. Yeah. So now we're down to 4 away, 4 away.
Oh, it's a close. It's a definite double. The 10 might be closer than I thought. It's 12. So
yeah. So
and a tiny bit of shot equity.
No, so
what's the max score?
I thought there was the race lead was bigger, but the computer lags a bit in updating the pit count.
Yeah. This is a really close decision.
15%. Yeah, so what does the score say? So Lawrence is keen to take because at the moment, the odd even balance is in his favour. So he needs an even number of points. Gaz needs an odd number of points. So if Lawrence takes the 2 cube, he knows that whoever wins the game, that odd even balance is still in his favour.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is the extra point Gaz wins is worth less than the
Oh, we've got a shot for Lawrence there.
Yep.
Missed.
So Lawrence got a shot which justified his take, and he didn't hit those. He loses 8 points extra, but as I say, it's not a very significant point. So this should turn out to be just a single win for Gaz. So now he'll be leaving 3 away, 4 away. So Lawrence is still very close in terms of match equity. That provided you're 4 away, you can utilise the threat of just winning a double gammon to win the match to allow you to be more aggressive and get your opponent to pass when he wouldn't normally.
Is it easy to see the take decision? Because I would have taken it. It looks like it's slightly
pass by
34. Yeah.
By 34. Yeah.
So it's no big. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of those mistakes where people sometimes regret making a mistake, but I always say if that's the biggest mistake you make in a match, then you really are one of the best in the world.
Yes.
So Gaz has got to 3 away, so he'd like to try and have positions without gammons, to be honest. He'd like to get 1 or 2 points out of this. So 6-5 is a bad shot. Now his backjack is a trap.
Yeah.
So this one, I think we split with the 3 and come down with the 6.
Yes.
So
great.
The attitude I have in these positions, you have to assume black's going to make the 5 point next time and say, well, how can I counter that?
And an awkward double 6 for black.
Yeah, so I think here I'm going to hit loose and make the 2 point. This is aimed at duplicating 1s. So my play is a little more solid.
Right.
So that's the play I would be making.
I think that's the play. Yeah.
So this is the good point of this play is you've got a 2-point board, so you've got
Yes.
another 3 numbers your opponent will fan with. So 1, 2, I guess we want to make the 5-point and then worry about what to do with the 2.
Yes, I like that. Oh, he didn't like that, so I wonder what it was.
Yeah, and I think maybe we needed to come up and get an anchor before we
Yes.
get primed.
We've got it now, yeah.
But he's rolled a good enough number to get out of trouble. So the excitement's disappeared for a bit, but when the smoke clears, it turns out that Gaz has got the worst anchor behind the stronger prime. So Lawrence has an advantage, but it's a very stable position, so it's not really the time to double now. There's not much in the way of market losers. The best you can hope for is to say, well, I'll be coming home against his 3-point game.
Yes.
So Gaz has an opportunity to run here. So the rule I have here is that you need to have a stronger board and the race lead. You need to make it to say if you get away with it that you're actually getting to a winning game. And he does have a stronger board. So
I just think White has got so nice distribution. I wouldn't have run. So, oh, but it was right. It was right.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't a standout play.
Yeah. And Lawrence has got.
Lawrence is 4 away, so he's doubling on the strength of winning a gammon. I don't think there's too many gammons here. He's got to find some way to hit the guy that's still in the outfield.
This is a hard double for Gaz to take.
Yeah, one of the things put me off running is that Lawrence has got a 5 prime. So it's like,
yes.
If he does nothing, if he rolls 4-2 and makes the 2-point, then we've still got to find another 6 to get out, or we're in extended jeopardy.
Yes, yeah.
But I'm very tempted to snatch this one.
So yeah, Lawrence is just going for it. Go for it. We could.
Yeah, once you've doubled, you've got to switch tactics and say, I've got to play aggressively to win the game.
I know it. Oh, all things have happened. So incredible stuff.
So swinging backwards and forwards.
Wow.
But,
yeah, hasn't it? And it settles down almost back where we started.
Yes, exactly. They have this rule in chess that if you repeat the position 3 times, it's called a draw.
We should have that in backgammon as well.
So as you say, I think we're back where we started. I think
yes, yeah.
If Lawrence rolled a 4 to
apart from Gaz is holding the cube, of course, now.
Yes.
Yes.
So 6-5, same again.
It looks like the take wasn't correct at that score, and which possibly explains why Gaz's play was okay, because it was going to be a double drop, whatever he did.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is a tough play. He's got a choice whether to point on the 3-point or hit the second guy outside. So I think I'm pretty sure he picked right, that rolling a 7 is not so easy. So at least if you send a second one back, you can be confident you're going to get more wins from the play.
And gammons, more particularly, yes. And more gammons, more particularly in this. It's real. His favourite, I would say, for a gammon.
Yeah. So if you remember that Hannah's rule I told you about before,
yes.
2 closed out is 40% gammons, and another 6 pips in the outfield. So that would be 52% gammons.
Yeah.
And I think we can give White a little bit more, because Black's 3 checkers on the 8-point are kind of short overs. They're not ideal for getting off the gammon.
Agreed. So it's at least 50. Well, I would say more than 50%.
Yeah. So Lawrence should play aggressively for the gammon here.
Yes.
I don't like these plays that worry about the double 6. So I think he kind of got the worst of both worlds. He found a play with bad distribution and a bad double 6. So one of the key things that Lawrence should be looking out for is the strength of Gaz's board. So he says, well, if I'm hit, do I actually lose instantly? and there's a couple of gaps there, so he can say, well, I can risk some small chance of being hit for the extra gammons. So we're hoping Gaz saves the gammon to keep.
To keep this going. It needs to. Gaz has to come in and oh, now 4-3 in this play could have been, because he has, like you say, he has to play aggressively. So I would still say it's
Yeah, so looks like
it's swung Lawrence's way.
So we had some of these yesterday in the matches I was commenting on, that the guy who was trying to save the gammon seemed to get rolling 2-1 every time.
Yeah, he's just rolled a nice. He's giving himself a chance.
So 15-11 looks good because it makes a crossover. So always.
I'd waste the 1 pip like that.
3, 4. So this doesn't leave him an immediate double to get off the gammon, so he doesn't get double 6. So 15-11, 21-17. And I was wondering whether he should play 8-4 at the end, so that kind of gives him double 6 immediately.
I'd have played 21 to.
And now he is really in panic stations. So this is only double 5.
Right.
So can he get 4? So yeah, you can put them both.
Yes, he can. So it's 13-10, 11-10. Yeah, he's got it. He's got it.
But it's still winging a
still a long shot.
Crossed. So he's got 6 chances of. 30 chances of getting
and Lawrence wins.
Right.
Well, Gaz has done everything he possibly could to win this tournament. He's been played like a superhero. He must feel sick, but he's impressed me particularly, and everybody, I'm sure, with an incredible standard of backgammon throughout the whole tournament.
Yes, it's one of the things about backgammon that one of the players has to lose, irrespective of how well they play.
Yes.
So without waxing lyrical on this game, if we quickly revert to the other semi-final, they're at a critical stage.
Okay.
Okay, let's join them. There we go.
And the cube is where? The cube?
It's Crawford.
Crawford, okay. So Andrew, when you invited Terje, you didn't mention that he hadn't to win, did you? You didn't.
I actually had no idea how good or bad a player he was. If I'm honest with you.
No, he's a good, well, much more than a solid player, a great player.
Felt morally obligated to give him a free invite, bearing in mind how much he does for all of us.
He does.
And just as a quick plug, he's offered premium membership for all UK BGF members at a massive discount of £18 per annum.
Wow. So now Terje has got to start trying to avoid the gammon, avoid being gammoned here. Oh, and that helps. That helps. That's how to. Oh, but incredible backgammon. Some exciting stuff going on today. I was saying that Steen isn't particularly well known in the UK, but I played him in a club match last week, and I'm not saying I'm playing at my top level at the moment, but he outplayed me. So the guy is a strong player. There's no doubt about it. He played around 4 against me. I think dead on 4. A really solid player. So no wonder he's got. That explains why he's done so well in this tournament. Is Jules still with us? Am I with you?
I think Jules has gone, but you're still with us. Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I was just explaining about Steen and how what a solid player he is, even though he's not well known internationally at the moment. But it wouldn't be a surprise if it's quite soon. Like I say, a good solid player. Wow. Things are happening. This can just swing either way really quickly. I think I think Terje should bring them right to the 7 point, mainly to make sure to avoid the gammon. He'll have less pips to get up. That's my play, because he'll have less pips. Needed to avoid the gammon. And of course, Steen should now make his bar point. No, oh no, that's too big. That's just too big. Good, worth looking at, but it's too big. There's nothing else but making the 2 points, unfortunately. Now he has a tough choice to make. Does he hit on the 2, which isn't quite as big, but or does he leave? Does he rely on his 5 prime? Very tough decision. Builds his 5 prime again. Oh, Terje should perhaps put his opponent on the bar.
Julian's computer crashed. He'll be back with us in a few minutes. One of the big advantages of being on Heroes, not Galaxy, where he would be getting very worried.
Oh, some good. He has to just flood the outfield to catch this checker when it goes. He might even bring these 20 points, yeah. This is a tough play. Or he brings the 13 into the 6. This is a time when he would love to know whether he was going to roll a 6 or not. But now it's easy. He must put it on the 2. And he's picked up another checker. No. Now he's so strong, he could have been more aggressive. You've got to concentrate on every single play in this game. Oh, back again. So black has got to be really aggressive now to try and win the gammon. So 11 to 6 to bring another checker in to attack that ace point. Just winning the game isn't good enough now for black. Black should be playing to win a gammon. Now this could. Oh, nice roll from Terje. So now white has more wins than he has gammon losses. So now probably Steam would just accept a 1 point win. That saves the gammon. That saves any thought of the gammon. So.
Right, hello there.
Are you back?
Yes. So just, can we check what you've got on your board at the moment? What the roll you're seeing is?
It's 3-1. It's now, the game has just ended and we're starting a new game with a 5-2.
Okay. So how are we doing? We're post-Crawford, I guess.
Yes.
So, Black
yeah.
got the player is doubling immediately. So
black is on gammon go and white is on gammon save.
Right, yes. So just for people that don't understand these terms, that can't be right. That's the Dane who's at the bottom of the screen. He needs to win a gammon to win the match in one game. And Terje Pedersen, who's at the top of the screen, provided he doesn't get gammoned this game, he gets a second chance to win the match in the next game. So he should be Terje should be concentrating on defense, and the Dane, whose name I don't know, should be concentrating on attacking.
His name's Steen, and I only came across him last week the first time when I played him in a club match, and he played at 4 and outplayed me. So good. You know, so
I tend to think
it's anything but, you know, he's a decent player, even though he's not well known yet.
Yeah, so I tend to think with these things, when you get to the business end of tournaments, that whoever's alive knows their way around a board pretty well.
Usually, yes.
So those 2 5s were good, but the next 2 he doesn't like so much. So all I know here is he shouldn't come off the 20 point.
Yes.
So Steen, who's at the bottom of the board, he's trying to make his 5 point is a sensible idea, and that's a good play because he wants to force Steen forward. He doesn't want any contact now. He just wants to win the race. So Steen must come in with the 3. That I think is 100% clear.
Yes.
I mean, one of the good things people don't pay attention to in this gammon go, gammon save thing is that Steen doesn't pay any price at all for being gammon. So because of that, he can really play boldly. So normally you'd say, well, okay, I don't like this play with 2 blocks in board.
I don't think Steen needs. I don't think he needs to slot the 4.
No, I think he just didn't have another good 4.
And we know he's got a 2 to play. That's, you know, it was just too big.
Yeah, so I certainly wouldn't have volunteered a shot there.
No.
My simple mind, once we've got the game sewn up, we don't want to give our opponent any chances.
Absolutely.
However, this attacking play seems to have come off. So now he's just rolling home and trying to minimize shots. So double 5 is the smallest he could leave it with.
Yes.
So come in with the 5 and then just 13-11 to try and make the 5 point. But so now I think 6 to 4 is right to protect against all the big doubles. So for black, I think we slot the 5 point, come out with 1 or 2 checkers.
Yeah.
But
that's correct. That's correct. Okay.
Very small chances for black now. It looks like Terje's booked his place into the final, barring accidents.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
So you can actually calculate how often white gets hit here. We'll get a pretty good guess by saying that he's got 2 bad numbers, 6-1 and 5-1 and 11 hits. So that would be 4 numbers leave a shot, 11 hits, 44. And then if you divide that by 13, that tells you the percentage. So about 3.5% chance of being hit there.
Right. It's all over, I'm afraid. So that's that's our guest, Terje, from Andrew's guest, playing against one of our top players, Lawrence. So that'll be a great final. I'm probably not going to make the final. So good luck with the final commentary, Jules.
Yeah,
And,
well, I'm hoping Gaz might turn up, because Gaz was saying he was hoping to do commentary, but he obviously found something else to do with his weekend for so far.
Right. Okay. Well, good luck.
Tim, huge thanks.
You're more than welcome. Thanks, and thanks, Julia.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you, Tim.
See you later.
Tim. Cheers.
Bye. Bye, Jules.
Julia?
Yes.
Just while we've got a live stream running for all our viewers, do you want to pick up some of the consolations in the fighters?
Yes.
They're all at semi-final stage. So you've.
So, shall I pick one?
Oh, absolutely.
Let's go. Let's know who the fighters are. The fighters are 9 points. Yes,
they are all 9 points. So I know that Martin Hamer v Ergin is definitely one of them. Alistair Woods is the other one v Neil Webb. So those two. Well,
let's drop in on Martin Ergin.
Okay.
I don't see too much of them on live streams, so both are just.
So let's have a look at the score. So Black is trailing 5-7 to 9. So he's 4 points away, and White is 2 points away. But on the other hand, White is in great shape in this game and just working towards and winning an undoubled gammon. So double 6, he can hit and then escape another guy from the prime. Looks the right idea. So Black's not giving up without a fight. So Cube's still in the center at the moment, but Black should be itching to double as soon as he gets an anchor. So 6-2, not a good shot. He can't hit. So maybe bring in some more attackers. So White should still be hitting loose here. He's got a strong board, but not a strong prime. So even though he's in trying to minimize gammon, so I don't like this play. I think he should have been hitting there. I mean, Seb gave me a good rule here and said, well, if you know your opponent's going to roll a 2, do you want him to anchor or hit you? So 3-1, he can just handle. I think he needs to come in with a 3 and then find a 1. So 6-5. So now Black has to choose whether to run. So he's chosen to wait there. See if White can jump his 3 prime, which he can. So Black's still got to get out from his 2 points somehow. So he's tidied up his board, ready to make a move. So double 4, he's still trapped, but now he can make a strong board and he will come off his 2 point with almost any roll next time. So 6-2 is a great roll to come off the 2 points. So how do we do it? Do we just move 1 and duplicate 3s, or do we move both of them so we've got a fallback option? So 6-2, he can't hit, and he certainly won't like playing safe. So Black's sensibly waiting with the cube here because he's got no market losers when there's nothing to shoot at. So that's leaving 2s and 1s. So White can hit on the 4 point with 6-4. He can move his 2 backjackers out. He's got to hit because he's way behind in the race. So there, I think Black should miss the double. That a double gammon will win the match for him. So he should have thought, well, if there's a direct shot, that's an opportunity to win the match in one roll. So now he's thinking of doubling, is wise. So what have we got? Sixes to hit, and maybe we win a gammon if we do hit. So that's a scary one. So what have we got? 16 hits. What happens if we don't get hit? Do we win then? It's not easy to win even if we don't get hit. That makes it sound to me like he's right to pass. So 3 away, 2 away now. So again, the trailer, that's yeah, so the guy at the bottom of the board, I don't know either of these players, so I'm going to fail terribly on getting their names. But the trailer in the match wants to double aggressively here. He wants to say, once I give my opponent the 2 cube, he can't use it against me. So 3-4 we have to hit. There's too much white threat going on at the top of the board. So 5-1, we can come in with a 5. We can either hit or make an outfield point. I like to come in on the 5. I don't want to go back and get stuck on the 1 point. So now black should definitely be doubling, and the question is, can white take?
To interrupt you for a moment, I can confirm the final between Lawrence Powell and Terje Pedersen will take place in approximately 20 minutes at 6 p.m.
Right. Okay. So you okay to stay with this one for a bit then, Julia?
Yes, I'm fine.
So black, I know he should have doubled last time. He should double this time as well. So I mean, this game he really wanted to get 2 points out of it to get to Crawford, or maybe even win the match. So again, few market losers here, but I'm still convinced black should be doubling here. Yeah, so I guess he was playing on for an undoubled gammon. He thought that nothing much could go wrong. So I don't think much has gone wrong. Can white take this? It's a tough one. At this score, the take point's a lot higher. It's more towards 30% rather than 25. And you actually have to play the game to the finish. You can't utilize owning the cube. So the pass, I think, might well be right. So now we're 2 away, 2 away, and it's usually at this score, it's a race to see who's going to double first. So black's double 2, I think, was slightly wrong. I think the right play is to make the 4 point and the advanced anchor, because your opponent's threatening a priming game, so you'd like to counter that. The double ace is 6-4 twice is clear. He's just trying to persuade the computer to see it his way. So white has an edge here because he's got 2 black checkers trapped as against 1, but they're both building primes merrily to make it an exciting game. So now I think black should be splitting when he can. But I see no one's doubled, so he should definitely be doubling. The computer's always keen on doubling when there's market loss. And certainly you could see for black, if he rolls double 6, that would be the end of the thing. The argument the computer has is that if you don't roll your market loser, your opponent will probably double you next time. So at least make sure the cube's on 2 when you're winning the game. So 4-3, he could make the 2 point, but I don't think that's right. I think the play here is to try and make your points in order, so you aim for the 3 point. Now I think black should definitely be doubling. He might want to try and play on for an undoubled gammon. He might think there's better value there. So can white take? Now he needs 32% to take. So he figures he doesn't have that. So now we're at this gammon go, gammon save score again. So black is trying to save a gammon. So he should make an advanced anchor here. That make the 22 point and just play 13-7. So that way, and you know you're getting 2 games for your money. So this is the danger, but he's got good enough dice to get out of it. So now he's got his advanced anchor, and that's not the right idea. You're unstacking the 8-point here and making a point in board. So that's a great roll for white. He's ahead in the race, so he's just saying, I'm going to try and get into a race. And black's got to counter this. So double 2 hits and then come down, or 6 to 4. So black's behind in the race. He's got to try and make a prime. So 6 to 5 twice is clear. And then we probably want to leave the point slotted. So he saw it rather differently. So now double 5 for white. He can't escape his back checker. So he unstacks the 6, makes the point in board. And now he can either give up the midpoint or make the 2-point. So double 4 for black. Has he caught up enough in the race? No. So, oh, this is a good roll. He can make the 3-point and then hit loose. So you almost always want to hit your opponent off the edge of the prime. So 6-2 is not perfect, maybe 13 to 5 to try and cover the 2-point. So this is maybe a bit premature, that you want to have your 6 prime before or cover your blot. But black again has come in with a 4. He's made his anchor. He's given himself every opportunity to lose, but he's been counting on his good rolling to get him out of trouble. So black, I think, here should make the 7-point, make his 5 prime ready for a hit. Double 2, that makes the 5-point. That fills in one of the gaps. So white's well on the way to getting a single win out of this. So it looks like this match is going to go to the wire. So I would expect white to win routinely here. So the usual way to bring these positions home is you strip the back point and then you clear it. So that's what he did last time. So now black's about to get a shot, maybe. So perhaps he shouldn't slot the 1-point here. Yeah, so that's a play I do agree with. So 4-3, we just bide our time, make the 2-point. So white's having a bit of trouble clearing the back point. So no, that was a bad play. That's leaving double 6 to leave a shot. I don't think we needed to have done that. Double 3 is really awkward. So now he clears the 6. So black might get a shot here. Yeah, so he's definitely right to keep his closed board. So pick and pass, leaving 4 shots. That's not one of them. So we should stay back. I don't think the race is good enough for us to be able to run here. So we want to take our chances to get some shot, but we have to break our board. So that's maybe not so clear. So we got to stay for the shot. The race is hopeless. So that's correct. There is the shot. So now he should take another one off. I think that's right. So 5-3 misses. So that's the end of the game. So white gets a single game and we're on to DMP. So DMP isn't really my forte, but the main thing you should think about DMP is that Gavins don't count for either player. So blitzes are generally bad. Racing plans are generally good. So still a level game. White should make the 3-point here. Usually you might say you want to make the 21-point to defend against the blitz, but the blitz isn't a threat. So 5-4 makes the 4-point. Still a very close game. Double 1 makes the 5-point. And then maybe we should come up to try and escape. So 6-2 is useless. So maybe we just play 8-2 and 6-4 maybe, or 8-2, 13-11. So black successfully made his escape. So now he's saying, well, I've got a race lead. I'm coming home against your 5-point game. That's going to make me the favourite. So white's still in contention in the race. He shouldn't leave any shots here. So just shuffle the pieces around and see where they end up. So double 2. Now I think maybe he's got to give up the midpoint. There's nothing really else to do. He's run out of plays. So double 5 is great for black, clears his midpoint safely, and does a lot to sew up the race. So black again is following the right plan of saying he wants to strip his 8 points so he's got time to clear it safely. So first hurdle 4-1 is not good. Maybe we just make the 1 point. 3-2 is probably better. You don't want to play 6-5 because then you're leaving double 6 as a bad shot. So 4-1, another 4. Yeah, so he's trying to leave a shot here. This is not the right idea. So as I say, double 6 is bad. 3-1, still just play safe. Nothing urgent. So while this has been going on, White's had to break his board a bit, which gives black a bit of a chance even if he leaves the shot. So there is the shot. So 6 in and 8-7 minimizes shots. 6-2 misses. So we'll go into a race. No, we don't want to go into a race. Close the board. Then our hits might be a little bit more powerful. Or save a 6 so we don't have to run. I would close the board here. I want my hits to win. So there's the danger. So again, I think we have to play minimum shots here. So for roll 1 and roll 2. So yeah, that gets a guy off, but doesn't necessarily play safe next time. So 4-2, that is safe. That's got to be a great roll. And White is still biding his time. Don't like that play. I think you'd have to come off the 6 and say that you have to win after you've hit is another criteria you need to bear in mind. So that's it. That's end of game. So it looks like we're going to end up. Oh, this isn't the main event.
That's right. This is the consolation.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's the semi-final.
Okay. So I think we've got a few minutes before the final, haven't we? So maybe
we have indeed.
We want to have a natural break for a minute or two.
I think so. It'd be a shame to join another game and then have to leave it. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So final, we've got Lawrence against Terje Pedersen. Is that right?
we have, yes. So just to re-explain, Terje obviously is, I assume, the owner of Studio Heroes, the platform we're all playing on this weekend and have enjoyed for certainly the last 12 months and specifically the COVID period. As a very minor plug, Terje has offered all UK BGF members in perpetuity a discounted price of £18 for annual premium membership. I would urge you to take that up, both in support of the website, but more importantly, you almost can't get booted off when the rooms are full if you are premium, which is quite an asset, truthfully, because it fills up very quickly. In fairness, as does Galaxy. Terje is one of our VIP guests for the weekend. He, Bernard Mayer, Arda and Rory Pascar, our UK way of saying thank you to those that are giving so much to the game for us from outside of our shores. Quite fitting that he's made the final. But as a player, I know absolutely nothing of him other than having watched him. He clearly is very good.
Yeah, so I'm just going to disappear for 1 minute, so I will definitely be back for the final. But
Don't worry, go on. You go enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to take a quick break too.
I'll compose a symphony or write a novel or something.
Absolutely. I will plug a few items and say a few thank yous while I wait for you.
I've got just enough time to make myself some tea before we kick the final off. I'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Excellent. See if I reappeared yet or not, David. Okay, so a good evening to everybody that is now joining us in advance of the final. Proud to say that Julian Fetterline will be commentating on, dare I say, our very own Lawrence Powell against Terje Pedersen, who I just gave a very large build up to and who we all owe huge thanks for the platform we're all playing on this weekend and have done for a while. Just while we wait for the setup and the final will commence in approximately 5 minutes, a few words of thanks once again. Firstly, dare I say, to the people you cannot see, most importantly, David and Jill Potter, who are sitting across the way from me and remain conspicuous in their absence from your screens, but completely visible in the entity of everything you have seen happen this weekend. Beyond Jill, David and myself, a few promotes, the respective finals that are about to take place for the main event and both constellations all have the wonderful prizes of P40 boards. And for that, we owe Corey and P40 a huge thanks. Wonderful gesture to have 3 of them on offer. Regarding the runner-up prizes, Mel at Gammon Village has very kindly donated 3 boards that are equally nice for our runner-ups. So quality prizes abound for all 6 players. Beyond those players that we now are about to see, the other semis, as they draw to a close, we will try and join the finals of post. So the constellations will be ongoing just after the main event. So that should be fun. Final footnote to all UK BGF members watching that may or may not aware, but if you look at the screen, you'll see it scrolling at the bottom. Free to all UK BGF members, the inaugural UK Online League, and that will run in parallel to the national online ratings and have a national online cup with a P40 board. I urge everyone to sign up. It's very expensive, it's free. And I think as I speak to you, we have broken the 200 barrier of entrance. So the £25 a year membership subscription for the UK BGF, or discounted if you take it for 3 years, I believe to £60, will prove very good value. So I urge everyone to sign up if they haven't, as December the 31st is the date after which it will close. Some thanks to obviously everybody else that's helped this weekend in both commentary and beyond. Julia, who will be back shortly, I will again thank in person. But as ever, Julia is ubiquitous and everywhere within the UK backgammon community, and we owe a debt of gratitude to her. She's taking a year or 2 off from the UK BGF, well earned, but I'm sure will be still very visible. And now all that will remain is the final matches for the evening. I will shortly pass you over to Jules for commentary. In the meantime, I myself will also go and get myself a cup of coffee, sit back and enjoy learning from the Grandmaster himself. I hope you have all enjoyed the Players' Championship. It's been a lot of fun to put on. You've all shown great patience and in a number of areas, and I must bestow the virtue, great sportsmanship. A number of players who could have taken advantage of penalty points chose not to, rather showing the spirit of this event, offering their late opponents the ability to play from 0-0. To those people who I have thanked, gratitude to you, and the spirit of the game lives on in those kind of gestures. They're not often seen, but they're visible in this event, so well done to you all. Beyond that, if I don't see you again, I wish you all a happy, healthy new year. Julia has just returned, so we will see her in a second. Julian will be back in a moment.
Yes, I'm here now.
And he is here, and all that remains is to hope this is an exciting final. And Julian, I will pass it over to you. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Terje Pedersen, Julian.
I've never met him myself, but Seb met him a few times, and I think played him and spoke very highly of him. That he's a really nice guy. obviously he's done a great job tonight. But as well as all this, he does actually play backgammon reasonably well, as you've probably seen. That I often say with these things that when someone gets to a final, it's a good indication that they know their way around a board at least. So just a quick aside to Julia. I've sent Gaz a copy of the link. So he was saying he'd like to commentate in the final. So if you can keep an eye open for him and see if he turns up, that would be good.
Yep.
Fine. I'm going to just send him a further invite just to be safe.
Yes, excellent.
I'll do that now. And I'll send.
So I mean, I can understand if he's so upset by the semi-final that he's worn out, but it would be good if he wanted to be here. That if he was here as well, that would be excellent.
Excellent. Okay, so I've just sent him an invitation formally. So we'll keep our eye open. I'll send him a text as well.
So we've got to 6 o'clock, so I guess.
So I'm going to just text the two respective players to tell them we're ready.
Go on, Sam. Go on. Off you go. Go on.
Okay, so Terje's flag has just gone black, Julia. So if you want to share your screen with Jules, I can then love you and leave you.
I've got Julia's screen up, so it's just she needs to find the match, I think, if it's started.
There we go. Let's find it.
Right, so we're live. So how are we doing? So Lawrence is at the bottom of the board. It's 0-0 to 11. So Lawrence started with a 5-2 splitting, and Terje has replied with 5-4, so that's correct. 5-3, you can make the 3-pointer or hit loose here. I'm not sure which play is right. So 5-2 hit with the 5 and then come down from the midpoint is good. So could you move your mouse pointer off the board a little, Julia, just so I can see that bottom corner? Is it yours? Oh, it's mine. It's not yours. Forgive me. It's my own problem. Right. Okay. So we've kind of got a standard position where both players have locked up their 5 points, so nothing can go wrong for a while. So now each player is going to play relatively safe and just try and improve their game. But 6-5 is an awkward roll. So I guess White could dump 2 checkers deep, but he's probably got to give up a point. So finding the 6 is the difficult bit. So maybe just 1 checker down from the midpoint all the way duplicates 1s. So this gives 1s and 2s, but at least it does hit. So 13-2 is the move I would be thinking of here. Not easy to see which play is right here. I can see merits in leaving the blot in front of the 5 points. So that was my initial thought. So double 3 is a good roll, except it doesn't hit. So I guess we cover the 3-point, make the 10-point, and probably play 24-21. So, I mean, we had our chance to hit and we didn't do it. So I think probably next time we can count on White probably covering that blot. So here's a different player there. I thought we were just leaving 1s, but in fact we left double 3 as well. So well played to him to find it. So So 3-1, I guess we come in with a 1 and decide what to do with the 3. And as usual, I don't like to hit behind the anchor. So yeah, so he's coming in with the 3. And he can switch midpoints or bring that guy up. I think coming up is right because you can see white's back checkers need 2s and 4s to come out. So giving him 2s and 4s to point on you isn't too bad. So 5-1 is a little awkward here. I think I'd switch points. So that's the right idea, yeah. So if we've made the 2 point, it's a deep point. It's no great loss making the 1 point. It's only 1 point deeper. We keep good distribution for the future. So 6-4 comes out and hits. Perfect roll. So black gets the return hit and comes into the outfield. White rolls double 1, comes in, hits, probably makes the point, decides which ones he likes. 24-23 looks best. So black gets a 3-1, makes the second anchor, must be right. So double aces, not as good as it initially looks, I would say. So we'd like to find a safe play here. So maybe this just switch and come up to the 22. Yeah, so I think the other play is to make the 9 point. The 9 point looks like a good point because it's blocking both of his anchors. So the problem with the play is that there's not a good couple of 2-1s of aces to play afterwards. So you'd have to play 8-6, but it still looked a reasonable idea to me. So 4-2 makes the 4 point. No, nothing special now, but good for later. So 6-1, the 1 looks like it's the problem for us. 6-5 hits in the outfield, good shot. 5-2, we can come in with a 2 or a 5. Yeah, this looks a good play. The guy on the 20 point is easy to get out next time. So 5-2, little awkward, but still safe. So while that's been going on, Terje's developed a big racing lead. So his strategy is to come off the anchor at some point. So usually what he'll do is he'll hope for a double to come off the anchor, but if he doesn't get that, he'll just try and improve his board prior to making his run for home. So 5-4, he can play safe 10-1. This looks a bit bold to me. It has a special name, that play, the double falcon, when you move both your checkers off your anchor into the outfield. Yeah, so that's one alternative play. The other one was just to kill a checker 10-1. So that looks a bit wasteful, but we'd like to clear our points in order. So yeah, white has a race lead and the stronger board, but he still has a blot and a lot of shots. So I don't really like this play myself. So Lawrence can't double here. That I think even hitting is, if hitting was winning, then that might be an argument to double, but a hit is a long way from winning. So 1-6, we come in with 1. We can come out, or we can come round. So this plan is to try and get one checker safe and leave one stranded. So Lawrence obviously looking for 4 to send the second checker back, or some kind of combination to improve his board, some 1-3-6 or 1-3-5 combination. 2-1 is worst of all worlds. So maybe just 4-1 here. It looks decidedly useless, but what else can we do? We can play 11-8 is safe, but we're not really aiming to. Yeah, so this is interesting. So a few more shots, but there's a blot in white's board, so he shouldn't be too worried by those. So white should definitely come out and hit, because if he's not hit back, he's pretty much got a claim. So this, I think, is double and clear pass. I think white's a near certainty to cover the 3-point, and then with so many checkers back and the race so bad that there's some danger of a running gammon. So I think this is a big pass for black. So Terje opens up a 1-0 lead. So the computer reckons he's 55-45 favourite. 6-1 was the opening roll, makes the bar point, obviously. So 4-1, come down and split with the 1. White's got some kind of a priming structure, so we'd like to try and make an advanced anchor. So 5-4, lots of different plans here. We could try pointing on him. Running, I think, is the best idea, because that keeps our priming structure intact. So make the 5-point is clear. Making the bar is not so clear, because the bar loses a lot of its value when your opponent's got one of his checkers out. You're really only blocking one of them. So definitely not a bad play by Lawrence. So he can try and extend his prime with 13-5, or we could run into the outfield maybe with 23-15. I think I would go towards extending my prime. So that I don't like, because it strips the midpoint. So 13-5, I think, is aiming for the front of the prime is a good plan. So this is the problem he has with making the bar point last roll, that he has to leave a shot. So 5 comes in and we save a blot with a 6. Duplicating ones is good. So white has the edge, but I'm a little unsure if there's enough volatility to cube here. So black's already got the 5-point. I would wait here. I'm just generally rather conservative in terms of doubling. That there's certainly market losers here, but having said that, most of the time I think black will just have a good defense. So 4-3, he's weighted sensibly, in my opinion. It's not a good roll, so he has to leave a shot somewhere. So he could go on some expedition of hitting lots of blocks, but he's got a race lead and black's got the stronger board, so trying to play safe is the way to go. So this is duplicating 2s, but also leaving a few 1s as well, so that doesn't look right. Yeah, so that was the obvious play and correct in my opinion. So Lawrence obviously hits, white fans. So now the advantage has switched back to Lawrence, but I don't think he has enough to double yet either. So 3-5 comes in and he can come out, but chooses not to. I think he should come out there. I don't like sitting on the 3-point. That's the point black wants next. So pretty clear, I think he should have come out there. Yeah, so the computer's flagging that as red. So Lawrence is cubing on the basis of saying that he's just going to attack on the 3-point. So not a perfect roll, but he hits and brings another attacker around. White comes in with a 1 and an awkward 6, so he makes a tempo hit. So 5-2 hits but doesn't cover. So we definitely want to hit. We've got a strong board. We've got a prime. We want some pieces behind it. 4-2, white comes in and again makes the tempo hit. So 5-1. We still can't cover our 3-point, but we'll keep sending white pieces back behind our prime. So white's come in. I guess he hits again on the 5-point. So 5-4. Now this is perfect. So now we've hit and we've made the 3-point. So now white has a really bad game. He's got some kind of a back game. So I would definitely hit with the 5 here. I think that keeping the 1-2 game is a slow death. So at least if we hit, we've got some chances of getting out of trouble. So he sees it the same way and he gets away with it. So Lawrence just makes a defensive anchor for the moment. So 5-6, that is definitely a good roll. So he makes the 18-point. I know you've got to make the 18-point, it's just how you do it. Maybe it's right to make it with the 6 and then save the checker 11-6. Or maybe you play 2 out to make the 18 point. So it's the 6 that's difficult for white. The 5, there's lots of good 5s for white. So that's why I'm thinking the 6 has to be 24-18, and then we look round for a 5. So 5-3 can hit on the midpoint, and I think he should do, and he does. So I think black has a very strong game here. So I remember playing these kind of games in a chouette in London many years ago, and the problem is that it looks as though as white that you've got this bar point holding game, but the trouble is with the checkers on the 24 point, when you manage to get a hit from the bar point, you still have these checkers at the back to escape. So that's what makes it such a bad game for white. So now he's in it. I think he has to make the 5 point, that he's not winning on a hitting contest, so he's got to be trying to win on a priming game. So 5-4 doesn't escape a checker. We're really hoping as white to roll a6 to get one guy out, or maybe even double 6 to get them all out. So this is really the flaw with this game white's got, that he might well get a shot. In fact, he's getting lots of shots, but they're very far from winning. So white is getting desperate for 6s now. So 6-1 is one of the very best. So now Lawrence fans. So now you see white's got his hit. He should be saying, well, I can double, but because of all these checkers on the 1 point, he's still losing the game. So 6-3, not a great shot. Just play reasonably safe. So 6-3 hits, sends another guy back again. 2-3 come in and not leave any blots. So Lawrence still hasn't got a perfect pointing number. So he's clearing the midpoint now. That's an interesting idea. I think I like this play. I think you've got to ask white what he's going to do next time. So 6-4, forced play. 3s and 6s to hit. Lots of shots, 29 I think, but not winning when you hit them. So now I think he should start the 2 point. He's had his shot and missed it. Double 2. And make the 2 point, I think. That's the next one on our list. So double 6. Actually not a good number here. He's found enough 6s to stay with the 1 point game. So I think that's the right idea. If you run out with all of them, you basically give up on the game. So now he's saying Lawrence won't get past him. Yep, so he's come back to his original thought, which I think was right. So 3-1 closer to home and unstack the 5 point. 6-4 does play safely, so that's what we'll do. 6-3, white's got to run and cover a blot in board. 5-1, just about plays safe. It looks like white's forced to run. So I was going to say Lawrence is going to win this race at a canter, and the pip count is certainly an awful lot in his favour, that white needs another double 6 to get into contention. And if Terje wins this race with 3 double 6s, then we'll know he owns the site. Now I think 3-2 is right, so that we have a good one next time. So this is okay. We can take off with a 1. We could play 4-2 with a bad 2. So this race is a lot closer than Lawrence would like, I think, but he does still have a good edge. He's, I think, better than 3-1 favourite here. 3-1 is a useless shot. That costs an entire roll. So now Lawrence is guaranteed to win. So that gives him a small lead in the match, 2-1 now to 11.
Just for all our viewers, the Constellation 1 final is between Martin Hamer and Len Brown. And Constellation 2 final is Steve Carder v Neil Webb. and hopefully we might be able to pick up the tail end of those after this match.
Okay, so back to this match. So Lawrence has made an advanced anchor to secure a defence, but Terje has escaped one checker and is now in the point of escaping his second one. So double six is a good roll for the race, that's for sure. So Lawrence is having a look to see what the race is like if he just comes out. So the race is level, so maybe it's quite sensible to get the last guy out rather than risk him being trapped. So 5-3 is a good roll. Lawrence wants to get that extra guy on the 18-point round. 4-3, Terje is coming down to 4 on the midpoint is the right plan, so he's got doubles to clear the point. So race is still level. So this position, Lawrence will have a small disadvantage because he's got the backward anchor. So I'm not quite sure about this player. I think you should play the third guy from the midpoint down, yes. So 6-5, I think we have to give up the midpoint. Yeah, he's looking at this. It's not the right plan and it's not the right time. So aside from that, it's a good idea. So 6-4, we have to make the 2-point. So what we'd expect here is that Black is the one that's going to run into problems first because he's got an extra 10 pips tied up in his anchor compared to White's midpoint. And double 4 is a great roll to illustrate Black's disadvantage. So if Black rolled a double 4, he'd get into a level race. If White rolls a double 4, it virtually wins instantly. So now I think it's probably double pass is my instant reflex. Yes, so that's what the players think. So 2-2, we're down to a 9-point match. Lawrence starts with the 3-1. Terje correctly splits against a priming formation. 6-5 can run. Maybe 18 and 8 is a better play here. Not sure about that. So double 3 is a good roll. So now we unstack 2 heavy points, make points in board. 6-5 is a great roll. Get the last guy out. There was American player Sam Pottle, who gave his name to Pottle's Law, which says you should always run out your last back checker. But like with all rules, there's always exceptions. So Lawrence is doing well. He's escaped his back checkers, but his distribution is a bit weak. So he might well have a few rolls leave shots like this one. So he was correct not to double. And that leaves a double shot. So I think his advantage here is that he's escaped his back checkers. So 6-2 is going to be better than that, I think. We just want to play with minimum shots. It might look ugly, but it looks uglier when you get hit. So there's another play to hit on the 1 point, but then we don't have a good 4 either. We've got to play 13-9. So this is leaving some 6s and 8s. So it gets hit and cover. That's death, I think, unless you roll 2-6 from the bar. So 4-1 comes in without hitting. So this looks like a good play on duping 4s. So Black needs a 4 to hit in the outfield, a 4 to save his blot, and a 4 to hit on the 4 point. So 6-4 is 1-4. We can't save our blot because we have a bad 6, so I think we have to play 17-11, 13-9, and leave him some indirects from the bar. But now it's getting critical for White. If he doesn't hit or anchor, then he'll have lost. So 3-6 comes in and hits, great shot. So now Lawrence has to come in or he's probably lost. And he fans. So can White double now? I'm sure White can double. The question is, can he cash it? So he's chosen not to double. I think I would have cubed there 2 7s, 10s, and your opponent's still on the bar. I mean, the thing is, if you can't decide it now, there's no guarantee Black will come in next time. So if you're trying to play on this position as too good, ask yourself what Black can do in the meantime. So double 1 isn't great, but would you be doubling out if you rolled double 2? If he came in, covered the 11 point and made the 4 point, that would make me suspicious and say this is not too good. Yeah, so this one, he has an awkward fourth one if he plays this way, doesn't he? No, he's coming with two. Yeah, so that looks okay. So Terje's seen what I think is the error of his ways, so he's saying, I've got to double now, black's come in. So what's the race like? White's got a race lead, he's got a stronger board, he's shooting at a block. This looks like a big pass. Position, race and threat. Seems to be we can tick all the boxes. So I think it's important White's got a race lead here. White can say, well, I'll just win the race. You know, how are you going to respond to that? So he doesn't have, he's got ones to hit immediately would be crashing. This looks a big pass to me. The other thing is White doesn't need to force anything. He says, well, okay, if I roll something neutral, I'll just bring my guy in from the 15 point and see if you can save your blot and escape safely before I attack you. And my fallback option is I'm leading the race anyway. So I'm thinking this is a big mistake to take here. So Lawrence saw it my way. So Terje's got a 1 point lead, so he's leading 1-0 to 9 effectively. 3-4 is the best split. 2-1 does nothing. So hit off the 4 point, we want that point. White fans, that's a lucky bonus. 5-3 doesn't do anything. So I guess we point on the 1 point. So that puts 2 checkers on the bar, no direct returns. So black, I don't think has enough to double, but it's like a blitzing position where he's 2-5 short of his doubling position. So now he might have a double, but he's still got to cover and hit. So I think White has a comfortable take here. So he saw it the same way. So black is covered, is good. And then maybe 3 checkers down from the 9 point. So now Terje needs to come in, otherwise there could be a bloodbath. So this Lawrence is trying to prove that my advice on no double was wrong. So he's correct to hit. So 5-1 can just cover and nothing else. So should he come up 23-22? Yeah, this looks a nice idea rather than just the mundane 9-8. So 6-5, which 6 is good, we hit, but the question is which one. So he's going all out, and I think he's right, but the dice seem to disagree. So 5-1, now Lawrence has got to consolidate, so come in with the 1 and bring the 5 down. He might be looking, maybe he can come in with the 5 and play 9-8 and duplicate 1s that way. But this certainly was my instant reflex play. So 6-3 is awkward. So against black's board, we have to play super safe, and I think the best way we can do that is 9-3 and 13-10. So no directs. So understandably, he's looking for something else. I can't see anything better. So double 5 is really bad shot for black. So it's looking for some duplication here, I guess. I can't really see any. So maybe just minimize shots. So 6-2 is good. That makes the 4 point. At least we made some progress. So 6-5. Lawrence can't cover with a 6, so he doesn't, because he doesn't have a 5. So 6 out and decide whether you want to save the other one. That looks sensible, playing with 1 blot. 3-2 misses, so I guess we're just making that, and maybe we would have started the 5 point. So 5-3 start coming round. The double 1 doesn't hit, but we can prepare our reception committee. So that's a play that's aimed at saving the gammon losses. So I think he's got a firm handle on this game of saying that his hitting chances are remote, so he should worry about getting gammoned. So 6-1 we come in, and 8-7 is a nice diversification. Yeah, So now we've got 1s and 2s we can use usefully, and big numbers we can move from the back. So double 2, we play 8 to 6, and then 2 crossovers and spread out is good. So double 4, that includes a 12, so we should be playing 18 to 6 with that 12. So this looks like a routine single win for Lawrence. So that will put Lawrence ahead 4-3. So that would be 7 away, 8 away. So still nip and tuck on the scores. Okay, so next game, 3-2. Lawrence splits with a 3, brings 2 down from the midpoint. Top play according to the computer, unless you're trailing by a lot in the match, when you bring 2 down from the midpoint. So 4-2 makes a point in board, very strong. 4-3, this is a tough play. So he'd like to hit on the 4 point, but then he gives up the 8 point. So if he does that, he's got to hit twice. Can do nothing with 13 to 6. I think this is right. At least it keeps black busy, so he's not building his 5 point or bar point. So 5-6 comes in and hits. So 5-1, should we hit or remake the 8 point? I think we've only got 7 in the zone, so we can't expect to blitz. So I think this is right. So 13-8, I would be tempted to split, but I think his play might be better. Black does at least have to anchor. So now we've got some attackers. We've got 3 black pieces back. We're threatening to point on him. We've certainly got 8 in the zone, but we're not committed to blitzing. No, I don't know if we should double. He certainly does. So black should definitely take here. The board strength is level at the moment. White only has threats. So take, get pointed on. And white now wants to bring in some attackers to make the 4 point. So with 2 on the bar, I think maybe 8 to 6 is right. Usually I'd play 13 to 11. He's chosen to split. I think splitting is wrong. I don't think it achieves much. It doesn't even give you good 5, good double 5. So 2-1. Yeah, he doesn't really have enough to do an all-out blitz. So he's kind of looking after his defense as well. So you can see why Lawrence's take was comfortable. So he got pointed on, he's rolled really badly, but the roof hasn't fallen in. The 2-1, great shot, fill the gap. 4-2 does nothing. So maybe 13-11, 6-2. The double aces is 1 too many. So we want to play 8 to 7 twice and maybe just bring them in. Perhaps we're not too worried about being hit. Yeah, 14-13 looks a good idea. So 6-5. Now I think we should definitely make the ace point. That we should be going to try, and our plan is maybe to keep black on the bar. So this play will win more games and less gammon, so not quite clear which one is 100% right. So 6-3 conveniently escapes the last back checker. And now he's having a thought on 8 to 5 to try and close the 1 point. 5-3 comes in, return hits. 2-6, Lawrence is stubbornly not resigning this game. So 4-2 comes in and out. And now maybe the roof will fall in for Lawrence. So 5 puts the second checker back. So now he's really got to concentrate on the 1 point. Now I think he should have played 7 to 5 there. Not a big mistake, because he should be able to hit on the 1 anyway. Now you definitely want to hit on the 1 here. You don't want to say, well, I'll make a 6 prime against that 1-2 back game. So if black rolls, ask yourself the question, if black rolls a 1 next time, would you prefer he hits you, or would you prefer he had the 1-2 back game for the rest of the game? So that's why I think this play is clearly right. So Terje's got a happy choice here. He can choose to build a 6 prime or to, yeah, so now Lawrence has got his 1-2 back game. So now he definitely shouldn't be hitting. If he's hitting, he's saying I can contain those checkers and get white to break his prime. So I don't like this play. I would have played 8-7 twice and 6-5. So this is lining up a lot of blocks. So he's saying, well, okay, I can get all these sent back and that'll fix my timing. So I think the right plan for white here is to send 7 or 8 checkers back. So he wants black to have enough pieces to be able to play deep in his board. So that's 7 checkers back now. So now we're kind of reaching the limit and saying that maybe we want to hit 1 more, maybe we don't. Yeah, so he's sensibly slowing down and saying, I'm not going to hit everything I can. So 3-1 now, I think we definitely don't want to hit. Yeah, so make the 6 prime and 9-6 or 10-7 are both the same. So he's sensibly thinking about hitting. I don't like the hit here. I think that's basically guaranteeing black's timing, or not guaranteeing it, but making it much more likely. So what we want is for black to come in and start playing his outfield checkers down to deep points. So if we hit another guy, we'll win more gammons. Yeah, so it looks like he's choosing not to hit, which I agree with. So 4-2, tiptoeing round without hitting. So now I think Lawrence should make the 5 point, that he doesn't mind about being hit. We both understand that now. So now we get to the stage of seeing what this back game is actually like. Again, he's thinking of hitting, and there's nothing wrong with thinking. I think it's still wrong that just ask yourself what black's going to do when he rolls 4-4, 5-5, 6, if he's on the bar or if he's actually moving his pieces at the bottom of the board. So, yeah, I think just 14-9 looks safe. He's gone for the hit, and black's entered immediately, so that makes his play off. So now white should kill his 6s, so this isn't the right idea. He should have played 9-8, so he doesn't play any 6s. So now he's still got some bad 6s to play, and that means he can't keep his prime for so long. So 3-1, no great shakes, which you go. That's the safest play for the pair off. So there's the 4-4 that crushes the board and breaks the timing. So now I would be confident in white's position and really just worrying whether I'm going to win the game or the gammon. So that's a good roll for Lawrence. Usually they say in back games that you don't want to hit and you don't want to roll big numbers, but he's got too many checkers back, so he's going to get gammoned. He needs some reinforcements to build his board. So now we want to play 24-23. We want that guy to get out. That's a lot of blocks, Don't like too many blocks when he's got a 4-point board. So that was a creative play, leaving a shot on the bar point. Definitely not terrible, because you can see it's far from fatal being hit. No good for, so yeah, he's having a rethink about this hit. It's not so tempting after all. Maybe we just make the 5 point. I've read in some books making the 5 point is good. Nothing wrong with hitting, certainly. 5-1 in and up. We just want to get home. 2-1. So now we need to play safe. So make the 9 point or the 8 point. So this looks the safest play, but it's not really the point we want. So that I think is a good roll, because I don't think we want to hint as black now. We're beginning to rebuild our board, so we want white to come home and give us a shot from there. The double 4 is a bit fast, but we make the 6 point, and we bring another guy round. Now that exchange, I think, has actually worked out very well for Lawrence, that he's got off a lot of gammons that way. So 5-6, he can make the 3 point or start the 5 point. And I think I would start the 5 point here. We seem to have 12 checkers on that side of the board, so that would be enough to close him out. So 4-1, white still playing safe, but getting into difficulties. Maybe we come out with the 4 here. We're going to have to come out next time if we don't get a shot. I'd still like to try and win this game by making the 5 point. You can certainly play safe with 10-3, but then you're counting an awful lot on hitting the very next roll, because you'll have to come out next time. So I like this play. 2-1, make the 2 point, fill the gap. We need the safe landing spot. So yeah, he's right to look at that, but then I think he has to leave a shot on all the 2s. So Lawrence still has a kind of 2 plans. So he's saying, well, I want to have a strong board when I hit, but I'm enjoying all these pips saving the gammon. And I kind of think 10-5 and 7-4 here. So it does make 2 crossovers. It wastes a couple of pips, but at least we've got our back checkers home before we break anchor and anything disastrous happens. And we have started the 5 point we're going to need to win the game. And the problem with coming off the anchor now is that white might hit you, and then you might get stuck on the barb and gammoned because you've left these outfield checkers home. Now that looked like a big double for white, took 4 off. And now Lawrence should run if he rolls 6 or better. He's got to get off the backgammon. So 4 points to Terje. So that now takes him to 4 away. So now he's definitely in the driver's seat, and a double gammon will win the match for him. 6-4 hits outside, is a good shot. Fans, and now Lawrence maybe should think of doubling when he's so far behind. But he waits, so he hits. We don't need to make the bar, but I think it's still right. So now he should definitely double, and I think it's already a pass. So Lawrence doesn't have much to instantly finish this game off, but his position is just so strong that he's got a priming threat and maybe a blitzing threat. So Lawrence is trailing by 2 points now, 6 away, 4 away. So he makes an aggressive play to try and get into a priming game. So he's got into a priming game, but it's not an ideal one for him. So that play I don't like. We don't want a deep point. Yeah, so we're behind in the race. Yeah, this is horrible play. So we were behind in the race with a better priming formation, so we should have been playing a priming game. So we wanted 2 down from the midpoint. Now White's just made two gaps in his prime that he's going to have a really hard job filling. So double 3 is perfect for Lawrence, so that should claim the game if he can find a safe-ish play here. Yeah, which he has done. White can run out with 6-5. Is this good enough for Lawrence to double? Must be good enough to double. It's just whether White can take or not. So 3-2 must save his blot. So Lawrence has a race lead. He has a prime. He has some attacking potential. Yeah, so I think he should have doubled last time, and now I think now he hasn't doubled. It's not so clear whether he should hit. With the cube in the centre, I would play safe and play 8 to 3 and think, well, I can double him next time. So now it's kind of got polarised, so it's either too good to double or too bad. And this is actually the too bad to double variant. So Lawrence is behind a bit in the race, but White can't play safe with this roll. That's a difficult roll. So I can't instantly see a good play here. I definitely don't want to be hitting. It looks like I might have to minimise shots. Oh, we can play 13-7 and 17-14. Looks the safest play. Yeah, so he's got there now. 2s, 10s, and 11s. So double 3 is none of the above. So I think we just make the bar point calmly here and say that we've got an advanced anchor. So 12 pips is good for catching up in the race. 5-4 saves everyone is good. So now Lawrence wants to get one of his back checkers out. He's got one extra one there. So he's behind in the race, so he's sensibly not making the 17 point. So 5-4, not a good roll. Maybe we just start 2 points. Now, usually these games where you have an advanced anchor, the 4 point or the 5 point, the doubling action is much the same as races. But for here, White's got lots of checkers behind the anchor. He's still got the midpoint to clear. So I think once maybe White can think of doubling if he gets missed this time. Yeah, so that I don't like. He doesn't want to leave the shots, but this is just too many points. He's got 7 points that are all stripped, nothing to play next time. So he waits. Yeah, so this is wrong again. I think he should make the 11 point. It's often good to have the point 7 away from the anchor. That's really the ideal point you want when you're coming home, because it's the easiest point to clear. You've got lots of landing spots. None of your doubles are blocked. And if worst comes to worst and you leave a shot, it's always an indirect. So not a big equity difference in the plays, I don't think. Harder to clear the midpoint than the 11 point. And that's what he's found out. So he can leave an 8 shot. That's 4 numbers, but I can't see an advantage in that. So he's sensibly waiting. So 5-4 now, I'm pretty certain Lawrence should close the board and come out. See what happens. So White rolls a double 6, that wins the game. So I think Lawrence should come out to avoid any risk of double 1 or double 2. Yeah, so White's definitely too good here. There's no bad numbers. Can cash any time. Only a small equity difference. So Terje's got to 3 away now. It's no big gain. Lawrence is still 6 away, so Lawrence needs to do something to catch up. So 4-1. I don't think we hit. So this gives up the 8 points. So I would play 6-5 and 24-20. And now Lawrence has got this problem of remaking the 8 point. The score says he wants to be aggressive, but he really is very short of checkers to carry out this plan. So 1-5, not a good number. So we come in with a 1 and there's no good 5, so we'll save someone. 3-6 fans, 1s, 3s, 4s hit. So we shouldn't be doubling here. So we're 3 away, 6 away. So this is, it's Stick's rule, 3 away, many away, you shouldn't double. So if things go your way, you'll win an undoubled gammon and get to Crawford. So you don't want to try and investigate these games when your opponent rolls like this and then redoubles you to 4. So Lawrence is back in the game. Double 2 is a great reply. So we want to make our defensive anchor. And now we could either slot the 4-point or bring the back guy up. Yeah, so this I'm not sure. I don't think it's a terrible play. Black doesn't really have enough checkers to carry out an attack, but the score is screaming out at me and saying that I want the defensive anchor. I want to cut down on my gammon losses. So that's the play I would make. I think he can also hit from the midpoint, but that I think is the worst of all worlds. So 6-5, just play safely, bring another attacker in. And now Terje, that's okay, but I'd still rather have the 4-point anchor. It stops Black's prime moving forwards. The double 6 is virtually forced. So Terje has a race lead, I guess here. Yes, a big race lead, but lots of problems clearing the 18-point. So he's sensibly doing that now and asking Black if he's brave enough to hit. So Lawrence calmly strengthens his board, 3-5, not a good shot. So he finds the best safe play. Yeah, so this is a difficult choice. I was wondering whether Lawrence should come up with the 4, and I think he's right to, so that because White has filled in 2 of those intermediate points, the 3 and 4 points, so he's got a couple of safe landing spots to bring in attackers to aim at a blot if Lawrence leaves one behind. So this play, Lawrence basically guarantees his timing. So again, he finds best play, so escape 1 checker. It's a good roll from Terje, gets another guy round safely. So 2-1, can we leave a 7? Maybe, maybe not. No big advantage of leaving the 7. So 6-5 is not good. If Lawrence was ahead in the race, he could think of coming off the anchor with both checkers, but he needs as much contact as he can get here when he's so far behind. So I don't know what White's thinking of here. He might be thinking of this double fall kind of breaking the 18-point, but that looks crazy to me. That the problem with the play is it's difficult to tidy up both the blots next time. So yeah, he doesn't like this play, and I don't blame him, but no alternative, I don't think. So this is difficult roll. I think I'd go 8-3, 6-2, and then maybe give up the 8-point next time. So coming out again, I think is the wrong idea. So it leaves a few indirects, but it could be fatal. As I say, with these positions, you usually want to be ahead in the race when you come off the anchor. So I can understand. Yes, it looks like Lawrence has found my play. So 5-3 now this might be the time for White to make his run. So yes, there's 2 blots in the blackboard. This could well be it. And it certainly looks like that's the right play. So yeah, so we're ahead in the race. Let's break the anchor, and if we survive, then we're in really good shape. And Black's got to hit and cover 2 blots. So 6-5 doesn't hit or cover. So maybe just 2 in from the 8-point and hope to get some residual shots next time. Now I'd still wait in terms of doubling for White, that we do have 2 blots to save. Not entirely sure whether he should double or not. So 4-1, he saved 1 of them. So Lawrence has 3s and 10s to hit. 3-4 would be perfect. Double 6 gets us in contention in the race. Maybe a bit, no, I want to keep that point. Bit of harassment on the blot. So 13-7 with the last 2 3s. Doesn't seem to make a lot of difference, but we've obviously got more hitting chances if we're 4 away from him. Well, this is a lot of shots. Why is he doing this? Why isn't he coming closer and duplicating 1s to hit and cover? Now, that looks a mistake to me. Lots of shots and extra covers. So what's the race like? It's primarily a race. Yeah, so white has a comfortable take here. That much I'm sure about, because he's going to lose negligible gammons here, and he doesn't mind playing for 2 points. He doesn't want to play for 4 points. So what's good for Lawrence? Well, he's doubling. Yeah, so understandable. He's got 15 shots that will probably win instantly. So 6-1, come in and make the 6 point. We'll be leaving the 14 next time if we hit or not. So white's very happy with his take. So race is very close. Can come into the 5. I would come down with the 11, but negligible difference. 6-5's big roll in the race. 5-3 comes into the 6 point. It's perfect. So race is very close. So he takes a check off his overstacked 2 point. 2-1, not so good. 6-3, that puts him ahead. 5-4, 2 off. 6-4 is another good roll. So Terje's got to be very shy on redoubling here, because if he redoubles, Lawrence can play for the match. So that's why he's waiting. And Lawrence will have 11% match winning chances if he passes here. So question is he more than 11% to win the game? 5 off 4-2. So 5 checkers, 5 checkers. Pretty sure Lawrence has got 11% here. I wouldn't like to hesitate to venture a guess as to how many percentage he's got. I'd certainly be happy as white taking a roll here. So that's not a good roll, only 4 pips. 6-4 is a great roll. So now it's clear that it's 13 all is the pip count, so white should wait. So take a checker off and figure out what we want. 4-1. So now we can double him out unless he rolls something perfect. Yeah, so this is perfect time to double. So now Lawrence can't get to recube, so he missed the cube there. Risked rolling the 2-1. So now we're at Crawford, 10-5. So Lawrence needs an even number of points, so gammons are valuable for him. But not staggeringly valuable. I guess he'd like to get 4 away, so that's really saying I don't know what the gammon price is. So white should he make the anchor? No, I'm going to make the 5 point. The 5 point is super strong. The gammon price is high for black here, but it's not staggeringly high. That he's going to have a threat for winning a gammon for many times. So now he really likes his play of having anchored rather than being wiped out. So Lawrence has a slight race lead. Terje still has 1 checker potentially trapped. So 6-5. Now Lawrence wants to jump into the outfield. He's been wanting that for a while, but hasn't got a number to do it. 6-2 is ugly, so both players seem to be rolling really badly at the moment. So 6-4, 13-3 is forced. Yeah, that doesn't look right to me. It just leaves too many stripped points. And here's the penalty. So white should definitely hit with any 5 here. So 3-1 makes the 5 point. That's a good step forward. So now is the time, I think, for white to come off the anchor. He's not worried by any gammon losses. He sees it the same way. So 1-1, 2 are the winners. 5-4 come out, and 11-7 maybe, or 16-12. Either is okay. 4 is very good for the race. The fact black's ahead in the race means white needs to do some work to make the 4 point. So he's made the 5 prime, is good. I think that's right. So 6-3 is awkward, very awkward. So guess we've got to break the 9 point. So now Lawrence has got winning chances. So keep the board as strong as you can for the moment. So 5-2. So should we slot the 4? I think we should have slotted the 4 because of this scenario that Black has to break his board when he comes up. The 3-1 we can pick and pass. 2-6 is still trapped. 5-1 we point on him is perfect. 4-3, he's not lying down. 4, so we win the race. Looks like White has a good advantage in the race because Black's got a lot of wastage with all his checkers on the 1 point. That double 6 is a great roll to get back in it. Lawrence has 10 left to Terje's 9, so it looks like Lawrence should win this. That's still very close. So 6 checkers to 6. And double 6 wins it. So that's the Crawford game gone. So now it's no mistake for Lawrence to double at the first opportunity every game. So he's not compelled to at this score. There is this thing, the Indian trick it's called, where you try and persuade your opponent to pass when he's still got winning chances. It's not a good idea at this score, I don't think, because Lawrence's gammon price isn't that high. He's still very happy to get 1 point to get to 4 away. So I would avoid the danger here of doubling, but I don't think there's no mistake. The computer always says you should double because the computer always knows your opponent will respond perfectly. So humans are quite right in saying that my human opponent might well go wrong and not know exactly the winning percentages. So double 4 is a great shot. So now we should be able to win the game if we play carefully. So, yeah, this looks a nice idea. That was my thinking. And then do we venture out to the bar point or the 20 point? Oh, he came in, right. So 6-2. So now we must be doubling him. Now it's clear to everyone that we should double, and it's not clear whether White should take. So Lawrence did very well out of that. So now he's got to 4 away. Now he has to double immediately because White has a free drop available to him. So something's gone wrong with the feed. So the cube is on 2, not on 4. Right, so Lawrence was right to double. Terje is correct to take. Yeah, so interesting play. I like this play when you're gammon save, that 1 checker can easily slip out. So that's a great roll, 5 and 7 points. Now we've got lots of wins. So Lawrence needs to get a priming formation now, so he's way behind in the race. So 2 down or make the 4 point. I think 2 down is the play. That actually gives us 4 points. So I call this making the 4 point here an upgrade. So you have 3 good points, but this gives you 4 points, and 4 is bigger than 3. So 4-2 makes the 4 point. Now we're getting close to our 6 prime. So White, should he pop out? He can make his own 6 prime. Making a 6 prime is usually good. Six, 3. Well, we'd like to slot the bar point, but then what do we do with the 3? So maybe we just have to play 13 to 4. I think making the 2 point is wrong, but we're trying to fill the gap on the 7. We're not trying to build our prime back from the 2 point. Yeah, so he's seen this, and there is no good 3 here. So I think you pick it up 7 to 4. 9 to 6 is an alternative, but that's giving up a point in your prime. So yeah, Lawrence is quite right to think he's got lots of time left. This might be the last game of the match, so why not make sure you make the right play? So he's come round to my way of thinking, it looks like. Still not sure. It's not I wouldn't say it's a particularly difficult play because I really can't see an alternative. I suppose you could try 2 down from the midpoint and say, well, if he doesn't roll a 6 or a 1, I'm in good shape. But when he does, he's in very good shape, and if he can't do anything there, maybe he'll just hit you with a 5 and try and win the game that way. So double 6 closes him out, and he's saying, I think I've got enough time to roll that escaping 6, as indeed he has. Yeah, so that's a mistake. He should bring the back guy up. Yeah, that's the one that's in more danger of being trapped. So that was a bit fast. He's sensibly looking about, can he protect against double 6? And I don't think he can very easily. So 5-3, we just want to play safe. I like that. So 3-2, nice safe play, clearing the 6 point. Yeah, so actually 6-4 and 5-2 was better. So what he's hoping for is he's following the right plan of just opening up points and hoping black comes in, knowing that when black comes in, he'll lose the race. Now this is virtually sewn up for Terje. So now we are in a race where he is exactly 100 pips up before the roll. So that looks like the end of the entertainment.
So Julia, for fear of bringing an abrupt halt to this, if you want, after this, if you switch to the fighters bracket, we can pick up the tail end of the consolation finals.
Okay.
The needs must is the Len Brown v Neil Webb match. The other one is Steve Carder.
Yeah, well, I've been giving some lessons to Neil Webb and have great hopes for him. So hopefully,
okay. So if we go and watch Neil's, okay, let me just see where he is.
I'll just leave this one. So
obviously, congratulations to Terje.
Neil
so
Webb.
Neil Webb is trying to close in. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Andrew, just for future reference, don't ask him back next year. Right, so Neil Webb is leading 8-4 to 9, and Crawford game. There's nothing exciting at the moment. It would have been exciting if he'd hit. 4-2 doesn't do much. And I guess he's thinking of coming out. Yeah, we could come out 22-16. That looks a good play. Usually at a normal score, that would be suicidal, but here we're saying we don't care if we get gammoned. Yeah, so leaving shots is not right there because that helps him come home so safely. So you could see if we'd have come out from the 22 point, we'd have had a direct shot with a 1. Yeah, so 8-6 is technically better. We want to clear the 8 point, and if we can do it while he's on the bar, that would be good. Now that's not right. We don't want to stack the 8 point. Then our 5s are bad. So that's a forced play. White is in. So 6-4 looks very tempting just to play safely. Now again, for black, like the last time, all black's trying to do is just to bear off safely. So yeah, there's 2 choices. He can play 6-4 or 6-5. So white should definitely be aiming at the 5 point. That's the next point he needs to win the game. So 8-5 is a start. Yeah, so that's the right theme. We need that 5 point. So 3-1 is awkward. So I think we just take a checker off the 4 point rather than making a gap. So it's nice to clear a point in front of him, but the gap might be a bit too costly. So 8-4 is kind of best of least bad, I'd say. So yeah, this is nice. We've cleared one of our 3 points, but now we've got 6-1, 5-1, 5-3 leaving shots. 2-1. Just take checkers off. You don't want to try and win a hitting contest. You want to get pieces off so you win the game even if you're hit. So 5-1, start the bar and play 6-5. we need to get the stack on the 6 point into the game. So there's the shot. Actually, it would have left a shot, whatever he'd have done on the previous roll, and the hit. So now we get to saying how well is white prepared. So 6-3, we can't make the 8 point, so we have to hit with a 6. And we can hit freely because there's another black blot knocking around. So 4-5, we want to cover the 2 point. Still got a big stack on the 6 we need to get into the game. So 6-1, save the blot. 6-5. So is a gammon worth anything? No. So we don't necessarily want to try and close him out. Yeah, I was wondering whether we should have just moved the last guy all the way around. I'm trying to see how many Neil has got off. I guess if he's got 10 left, he must have 5 off. Yeah, so 12 to 10 I like here. We want to get sorry, that's not even a builder. Okay, so let's play 6 to 4, so we've got a builder for the 3 point, and if he rolls 2-5 or 2-6, it's unlucky. Yeah, I don't think we needed to do that immediately. I don't think it's a big mistake. We definitely need the point, but there were only 4 numbers that came out. So 3-1, you should always hit loose in these positions. That you don't want to risk rolling something like 5-5 and things going wrong. So when you've got the 6 prime to protect you, you hit loose on the 1 point. You're not worried about being hit back. You've got to get that 1 point made, and the sooner you do it, the better it is. So 3-1 for sure. Yeah, so now he's back on the right track. So 4-3, we close the board and then play 7 to 4. So he's wondering whether to go back for another checker, but I don't think he needs to, because as I said, black's got 5 off. So he's about 20% here. So we have to find a balance between risk and reward. So we can play 7 to 2, 4 off. But I think we've got enough winning chances. We play safe with 7 to 4, 6 to 1. Tough decision, not sure which one's right. His play comes out way ahead if you're rolling 6-2 next. So now it should be plain sailing for white, so that black's down to about 15% or something here. It always looks a bit scary, but the computer knows its percentages. So I'm torn here that, as I say, I've been giving lessons to Neil, so I'd like him to win, but that would rather terminate the fun for today. So now Len is gammon go, so he should double immediately because Neil has a free drop. So Neil should take if he has any advantage. Not quite sure. So 5-2. Double 4. So white's gammon go, so he should be making an aggressive play. So he should be thinking of attacking, making the 5 point or the 4 point. So I think I would make the 5 point here. Making the 4 and 2 is not bad either. So double 3. Make the 5 point and look for a 4th one, I would think. So can we risk 13-10? So 3-4 doesn't do anything. So 13 to 6 is another builder for the 5 point. Double 5, not quite what the doctor ordered. So maybe 3 down from the midpoint and just 8 to 3. I don't particularly want to give a gratuitous shot here when he's got a 4 point board. If we have to leave a shot later, so be it. So 5-4, maybe get one guy out. So double 2 for black. Yeah, so this is not clear. He could make the 4 point and hit loose. I think that maybe I would make the 4 point. I like the 4 point here. Yeah, so he has to go back to the beginning here, see what's right. Yeah, we decide if we hit loose. Yeah, so I like this play. While the 5 points open at the top of the board, being hit isn't a total disaster. We can come in with a 5. So the 4 we have to play boldly somehow, so that looks as good as any. So 6-4 we can hit or run. Now hitting I think is right. Can we hit and split? That looks terribly risky, but it is fantastic if we get away with it. So 5-1 hit and cover. Maybe we want to cover the 1 point and put 2 on the bar against a 5-point board. We do have to pay these ones for a while now. Yeah, so Neil's correctly aiming at just covering the 1 point. So yeah, he could break the 4 point. That's another play. That leaves no shots, but it does leave a gap high up. But he's not aiming to win a gammon. He just wants to win the game. So I thought his play with the 1 last time was wrong. This play is not so clear. So 6-5, he's got a 6 to cover, but then his last check is trapped. But he's got 6 and 4s to escape, so that looks clear. So 6 or 4 and he's winning, and we don't want to hit another guy. All we want to do is win a race. So 5-4, just come around safely some way. Yeah, so that's not too bad at all. So Neil's plan should be to open up the 6 point pretty soon. So he could do it now. That's probably the best play. This is not so good if he rolls double 6 or double 5. Yeah, so that's okay. Yeah, so that's the right plan. Strip the 6 points so we can open it next time. So now White's got to guard against rolling 6s when we're in a race. So that looks rather ugly. That's lots of shot leaving numbers. So I think he's got to clear the 4 point here. So double aces is perfect. Let's just clear the 5 point and win the game. That's perfect for him. So it looks like Neil has done enough to win this match. Yeah, and it's all over.
You quickly switch across to the needs must. We can see the tail end of the final of the finals. So I think, Neil, congratulations.
Indeed.
Yes, well done, Neil. Excellent.
Yeah, excellent.
When you get lessons from me.
Absolutely.
That
That was the best plug you will ever have, Jules.
Well, I have to say in his defence that Neil was a good player before he came to me.
Ha ha ha. Okay, so we're now at needs must, which is Len Brown.
Right. So that's Len Brown, right? And
yeah, against Martin.
Right. So what's the score? White is Crawford. White's just trying to win the game, and Black's gammons are worth very little. So Black needs to roll a 2 to get one of his spares out from the back. Otherwise, his timing is in terrible shape. So 2-5 is a perfect roll. So Mochi did a seminar on back games, and he said not to jump the prime is a crime. So that was definitely the right idea. So 1-2 come up to get someone to jump out next time. So it looks like Black's just about holding on with his timing here. The timing was very much in doubt for a while, but you think he's held it together. So you can see he's almost 100 behind, which is what you're looking for in one of these deep back games. So this looks horrible, obscene. So if you have to leave a shot, so be it. It's not the end of the world when you get hit here. So 3-1, we'll just save a block 9-5. 6-5 comes out, and we can't hit. We probably didn't want to hit. So 4-1, maybe we just clear the 7 point here. Our plan of priming Black doesn't seem to have worked, so we've got to switch to plan B, is just saying, well, we're going to try and bear off safely. So the cliche here is a point cleared is a point not to be feared. So 2-1, he can make the 3 or start the 5. Not sure which is right. So 5-3 does play safely. So 4-1, we start the 5 point. 5-1, clear the back point is good. 6-5, we've escaped our last spare. So as you can see, the timing seems to be near perfect for black here. So now black's hoping to cover the 5 point, ready for when he gets his shot on the next roll. So 6-5, there it is. 20 hitting numbers, and there's one of them. So we hit is clear. And we play on to the 13 point to guard against 1-6. That looks good. And then get another builder for the bar point. If he rolls double 1, we know it's not our day. 6-3, we could play 21-12. Yeah, this is another alternative plan. So does he mind being gammoned? Can he hit loose? So, yeah, 8-6 is clear. So winning a gammon is not worth a lot, about 1% match winning chances because it takes away his free drop. But winning a backgammon is especially valuable. So I think we hit here, and then maybe we let him anchor and try and hit some more when he breaks the 6 point. So this is a fancy play. I'm not quite sure what it does. So now white should just clear the 6 point and say 6-3 and 5-3 and say, well, that's your last chance to hit that guy. There's pretty much zero hope of winning. So what we've got to do is try and cut down on the gammon losses and the backgammon losses. So I'm not quite sure how we can win the game from here. Doesn't seem to do much either way. So hits with a 4. Yeah, you can hit there. Nothing wrong with that. So must keep the 6 prime for the moment. So double 4 hits, cover the ace point. And we don't really want to go deep to the 3 point, so that looks right. So 4-1, come in, and 6-5. Yeah, so that still leaves double 6. That doesn't work. You generally in these positions, you want to say, well, I'll pay double 6 for 1 roll and guarantee that I have a good position for the rest of the game. And it's not entirely clear if you roll double 6 and he hits you, whether you're actually losing the game. But it is pretty clear you're not losing the game by any stretch of the imagination. So having the spare on the 6, it's not going to be a vast difference, but the backgammons that win the match are going to be higher there. So something have I got the score wrong here? Oh, they're playing to 9, and it's 8-6. Yeah, so I was right. Yeah, so this I think is slightly inferior, but double 1, it's a great answer. Yeah, so now he's got his spares on 6 and 5, means that he should take some checkers off before he leaves the shot. So that's 4-6, it's a perfect play. So he's going to have 2 off before he opens up a point. Yeah, so this is going to win more gammons, more backgammons, and more games. So this pair off is going beautifully. So 6-3, no need to do anything crazy. But so now we must definitely take a risk. Oh, so this is really wimpy. We should have just taken 2 off there and tried to get some fluky backgammon wins. So as I say, the gammon price is low, but the backgammon price is astronomical here. So this is pretty much over. So that'll take the score to 8-7 post Crawford. So the trailer will be doubling at the first opportunity, and the leader will take if he has any advantage and should pass if he has any disadvantage. So this is pretty much borderline. whether you take or pass. I think the computer says it's a very small take. So double take it goes, and he makes the 5-point and splits is correct. 6-5. This is never easy for me. I'm never sure whether we run one guy completely safely or get the other guy round to somewhere constructive. So I'm not going to stick my neck out here. So Len feels the same as me. He's not convinced. Yeah, so that was one of the pluses with our play, that we were leaving 8s and 10s, but all the odd one combinations were blocked, the 5-3, double 5. So 4-3 is not a good way to follow it up. So I think we just have to play 13-6 here and hope for something better next time. So White's still winning the race. That's his advantage here. Black's got the position. He's got a strong board for some hitting. So Black, again, needs to make some kind of aggressive play. So this is a bad play. This is letting White play safely behind him with his difficult numbers. But Black's obviously trying to make a prime here. So that's one way to do it. Another way would be to bring 2 down. So 4-2 makes the 9-point conveniently. 6-4, we have to make the 2-point. Not perfect, but it is a point. So White's hoping to get out here, and this is a bad roll. So I think 8-2 is the only play here. Pretty ugly, but we can't really cop up another block. Giving up the 9-point looks flexible for later. So double 4 is a great number. Definitely the best. So make the 4-point, and do we come out or do we switch? Seems a shame to waste it when we've been praying for double 4 to get out. So let's have a look at the race. The race is going to be close afterwards. Yeah, so I'm making the 18 and the 4. That looks pretty clear to me. Yeah, so this was the alternative, and it's good if we roll some 4s to escape, but this is the downside of the play. So if only we'd roll double 4 to get those back checkers out. So 2-5. Wow, do we come out or do we close the board? I think he's right here, that coming out is the top priority. So come in. Hitting is a bit big, so probably 2-1. Yeah, he's right to take his time here. He's still got 2 minutes in the clock, and this is definitely the last game. So double aces, we can switch or we can pick and pass. Not quite sure. Yeah, not certainly nothing wrong with this. So do we want to get hit by double 5? I think it's going to be pretty grim if he rolls double 5, no matter where we are. So maybe we should just leave that in several places. Now, what's he played? 3-1 so far. So yeah, that looks right. Only a marginal difference. So 4-6, he's got the last guy moving. So 22-18 and some 6. So I would play 14-8 reflexively. 10-4 gives us a bit less flexibility. We still have our 5-point board, so we're going to have to rely on that if he comes in. Yeah, so I like that play. So 6-2, the back guy is still trapped. So 10-4, 8-6. So now White needs to come in to stay alive, which he did, and has to hit. He's not worried about being gammons. He couldn't care less about the gammons. No other 6 that appeals here. Yep, so he's there. So, right, do we hit that guy? 5-5, beautiful. So we can't make the 5 points, so I guess we have to point on him on the 1 point. So we'd like to make the 5 or the bar. We can't do either. And that leaves us 1 more to play. Can't see a good one, so yeah, that gives up the outfield. That's the problem with that. So 5-1. Now we can make the bar and then come off the anchor. So let's have a look at the race. The race is still disastrous for us. So 22-11 is my play. Yeah, I want to make the 5 point. I'd feel much more comfortable once I've made the 5 point in this game. Yeah, so he's not paying 5-6 and double 5 is going to win anyway. So I think that looks like the end of the entertainment. What's the race like? 46 or something like that. So 40-ish pips. It's negligible chance for white, I think, here.
So I just have to add, if you wanted to see the two extremes of backgammon, two double sixes on the bar of beating his computer with frustration, Martin, and then a double 5 to run around and win the game. I mean, we need to frame those 3 roles. Yeah.
All good things come to those who wait.
Absolutely. Jules, as ever, huge gratitude. I cannot tell you how many wonderful comments you continue to get with your commentary from the watching public. So it's a thrill to have you.
I have to say I've really enjoyed it. That we've had some good matches today, sort of starting with Gaz and Lawrence, and then Lawrence's final with Terje was good, and closing match finishes of this other tournament. So I've really enjoyed it, and I think you've done a grand job organising the tournament. That I think people are going to be very happy and saying, "When's the next one, please?"
Absolutely. So we've got the National Online League, final plug of the day for anyone who hasn't signed up. And then at the end of February will be the memorial event, Jules, which we set up in memorial of Wayne Felton primarily at the time, and then sadly Andy Bell also in that year. So that will be the next big one at the end of February, which we will be promoting early in the new year.
And if I can put in a plug for Worcester, the Christmas turkey tournament, Monday the 28th. It's just a one-day one. It's the tradition.
How can the turkey get delivered online? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Well, as a vegetarian, I shouldn't enter it, but I will.
Well,
and Sean is a
You could show yourself, and you might get a good stuffing in the event.
Anyone that draws me will be very happy. Wonderful. Well, sending congratulations to our respective winners, Terje Pedersen in the main, Martin and Neil in the respective constellations, P40 boards, quite literally winging their way across to you in the new year. And to our respective runners-up, Lawrence, Len and Steve, congratulations. No less of an achievement, and boards coming off to you as well. Julia, huge thank you.
Thank you. It's been great fun to be in-house.
Absolutely.
Yes, thanks to Julia. I always think that she's the unsung hero, that none of it would work if she was there. The director wasn't there saying, "Point the camera here, please."
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're happy for her to be a visible face.
Yeah. Okay, so thanks very much.
Great stuff.
Disappear and
we will.
You've both done a grand job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we will be back on air soon with something.
We will. Good night to everyone, and a happy and healthy new year to all if I don't see you.
Yes, and take care, everyone.
Thank you. Night, night.
Right. Bye all.